There you go.
Alrighty, hello everyone, and welcome back to a Week 4 matchup between the Verdant Monkeys and the Kangaroo Corral. Both teams actually coming off a win in the previous week, but standing at 1-2, looking to bounce back as we press the halfway point in this season. I am AI Box, and I'm joined today by Blood, Bath, and Beyond, who's fresh off a win himself versus the ultimate league favorites, the Footlongs. How does that feel?
It feels good, man. But tonight's not about me or my team and our win. Of course, it's about this exciting matchup. I gotta say, Bird Monkeys looked a little rough in the first 2 weeks, but obviously, like you mentioned, they did win against my own team last week, which was a big win for them considering we were 2-0 and they were 0-2. As for the other side of things, the Kangaroo Corral also, I would say, have looked a little rocky all 3 weeks with some pretty honestly crazy games kind of going all over the place. So I'm interested
Yeah,
to see how this goes. See if Verdant Monkeys will, continue their wins, start a win streak up, and kind of find their footing, or if they'll. So we'll see if last week was a fluke, or if they are really coming back strong right now.
absolutely. And as we start to head into drafts, just a
All
quick
right, keep going.
announcement. Tilted Tom is currently out for this matchup. Instead, we have a substitute Jamkubs. That might be kind of hard for us to stay as we go into the night. But
Yeah.
yeah, we'll see how this kind of changes what the Kangaroo Corral's game plan is moving into this game.
Yeah, we're getting through bans pretty quickly here. Seeing a couple mid lane bans away from Altic mid. Not surprising. The Echo and Diana are some pretty standard bans away from him. The Gwen taken from Lyle. On the flip side, Fruge's Rumble and Verd's, or excuse me, Clock Block, which I will still be calling him Verd. That is the only time we will address that. His Zillion will be taken away.
Oh, and
Not
instead the
surprising.
newly buffed Ziggs. Like
Yeah,
you
Verd
said,
played that.
a lot of
Verd
the
was playing that
draft.
both games last week.
Yes, a lot of the bans so far have just been the meta picks outside of that one targeted Zillion ban toward Verd, and so they just go ahead and pick up his pick early. Comfortable playing that in any situation. Actually, the karma that could go in any number of directions. What are you thinking about for this one?
I'm guessing that's a karma for the support there. I would be really surprised if Take mid played it, and would be mostly surprised if Lyle Walt played it. Um, I will say I am a little surprised with that first pick Ziggs because I don't believe it's a takeaway from Take mid unless he's been playing it recently.
It's not really, but at the same time, in his current state, you can do so much damage. Not to mention the ult is freshly buffed, and it just is really able to level any sort of game state. Even if you're falling behind coming out of the early game, it's always a solid champion to have. On the other side, like you said, the karma could go anyway. I have seen mid playing it a little bit recently, so who
Interesting.
knows? We could also see it flexed into the top lane. There's really a lot of possibilities for this.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, a little surprising to see both mid lane champions picked up here already for uh, Verd and Take mid with Ziggs and Victor respectively. The Nocturne coming through for Fruge, and gotta say we're seeing some globals on the side of Verdant Monkeys already with two. So see if they'll be making some good macro plays with those abilities.
Absolutely. Kind of a story of just picking comfort at the moment. Frugier very comfortable on the Nocturne, looked very strong on that in the last week's series. At the same time, the Rek'Sai actually for Wally Warp. That's an interesting pick.
Yeah, very interesting. I think we may have seen one Rek'Sai earlier in the season, maybe
Yeah,
on
I think
Teague or
by T.
possibly
Yeah, when he
even.
was stubbing, actually.
Yeah. So definitely a fairly
And I think he played after
uncommon.
too. But
Yeah, definitely a fairly uncommon TCL pick, especially from Wally. I don't think we've ever seen the Rek'Sai from Wally here, but should be exciting. I mean, we definitely got some interesting picks, especially from the Kangaroo Corral here with the Karma and Rek'Sai. They're shaking up the
exactly.
TCL little meta a little bit.
Yeah,
Aside
and
from,
the overall meta as well. I mean, when's the last time you really see Rek'Sai being popular, even in just our normal or ranked games in general?
right,
Not as popular even on the pro meta as well.
right. I was just gonna say, unless your team mantra, then of course Karma is the only meta for you.
That is true. Meanwhile, they want to get rid of that Nod. They really don't want to allow him to have that very
Eventually.
punishing range top laner, especially prior to the Stridebreaker nerfs.
Yeah,
And
I'd definitely say it's
Sharpening my
Tokemon's strongest champ
feathers.
as well. He's very
for sure.
comfortable on the champion, just sitting back farm, getting strong for the late game and having those strong ultis.
Bush League in the chat
Interesting.
saying Leona is kind of played out. To be honest, Karma is better. Get
Oh
out of here!
yeah,
Someone mute this man.
yeah.
He cannot be.
As having recently shifted to the karma train himself.
This man is too powerful to be left unchecked in chat. Ooh, the Ashe actually for Speedy Mandio. I actually like this pick a lot. I feel like it's a great utility pick, and it's really not that bad in the meta. It's not, you're not seeing it a whole lot. I think because we're kind of coming off of an Ashe meta,
Oh
but
man.
the
Oh man.
Toasty Aphelios.
We're gonna see Toasties and Felios, this will be interesting. I know
Yeah,
I'm
it's kind
pretty
of one of his
sure.
pocket picks for
Honestly, I'm
TCL.
pretty sure it's his absolute favorite champion as well. He
Mm-hmm.
loves Aphelios.
Curious enough, Aphelios not in the best state at the moment, but can combo very, very well with Leona now.
Yeah, he
I think that
wants to
makes more
play
sense.
it. He wants to, but he'll go to the more meta pick of Tristana for right now.
Yeah, Tristan is quite strong right now. Actually, quite strong against all the champs that Kangaroo Corral is currently showing too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, pretty strong against. I'd say your best picks into Tristana would be something like Kai'Sa or Ezreal with those other heavy meta ADCs. But right now we're on an Ashe. I mean, Tristana's gonna really enjoy killing that Ashe if she gets the chance.
Yeah, at the same time, Ashe does have this incredible ability to kite and slow and chase. Ashe definitely has enough tools to be able to deal with it. It's definitely kind of a skill matchup between Speedy and Toasty. And also a
Mm-hmm.
question of how Jamkids is going to be able to hold up against the Leona pressure from the Monkey.
Yeah, absolutely. As for the top lane, last two picks locked in there. Not surprised from either side. Pokemon Panda has been playing Cho'Gath all 3 seasons. Not surprised to see that. Lyle's played Camille a few times, hasn't heavily prioritized it. Camille is solid right now. Not quite as strong as she was in the past year or so, but it's definitely still pretty
Wait,
strong.
did Wally pick Rek'Sai into Nocturne? I just realized.
Yeah, he did.
That is an incredibly bold move. Rek'Sai, obviously, when you're underground.
Actually,
Uh,
did he?
I'm not. I
Yeah,
can't
they did
quite
because they
remember.
first
Yeah,
picked.
that's
They grabbed
incredibly
Karma
bold.
Victor.
I
So
mean,
yeah, he did.
Rek'Sai's already has limited vision when she's underground, anyways. And then you stack the Nocturne off ult on top of that. I've actually played this matchup personally, and it feels pretty. I gotta say. So
Yeah, and I mean,
I'm a little concerned.
as Nocturne, if Rek'Sai ever tries to get close to you, you can just spell shield that knock up,
Not to
which is
mention, yeah,
pretty sad
exactly.
for her.
And then when you're underground, you're entirely reliant on the vision that your team is providing you.
Yeah,
So if all of a sudden that's denied by Nocturne, then oh my
yeah,
goodness.
absolutely.
Well, I mean, Wally probably knows something I don't, but that sounds pretty rough to me.
Hey man, maybe they're just thinking they'll come mid and jump on the Ziggs and repeat, and it'll be a good pick to just get on top of him and knock him up for the victor to follow through on. I'm not sure if Wally would necessarily have a whole lot of. I mean, he's played things like Udyr and other things. Ziggs would probably easily just drop his satchel and bomb away. So maybe he's thinking this will be a better kind of pick to get on top of that Ziggs.
Yeah, this is quite interesting. He has to make a lot happen in the early game. Otherwise, Rek'Sai is going to really have a rough time being playing out mid late. It's already going to be tough as soon as they hit 6, but I'm not sure. Nonetheless, I think within the context of what they're looking to do within this team comp, it's going to get mid ahead. Let Lyle do his thing versus this Cho'Gath, and at the same time, try and play out this bot lane. Speedy's going to have to learn how to synergize with a brand new support. I don't know how much practice they've had, but regardless, they've kind of just figured out who they're playing with today. So I would
Yeah,
definitely expect Rouget to kind of do some power farming and some rotations around his top side, potentially taking his first 6 bot.
yeah, it's likely. Maybe mid lane, but I gotta say, I think all in all, the comp from the side of the Verdant Monkeys is definitely looking a lot more solid to me, looking a lot more typical, a lot more
Yeah,
straightforward in what they want to be doing. Whereas on the flip side, the Kangaroo Corral, I wouldn't say their comp necessarily looks bad, but I think it's going to be
I
a
think it's
lot
bad into
harder
what
to.
they're playing against.
It's going to be a lot harder to execute for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I could totally see, Toasty taking something like, even honestly, like an early Stormrazor. I'm usually not a huge fan of that item, especially since you're usually seeing something like the early PD. But if he's able to jump onto this Ash Karma, get that Stormrazor proc, and pop his bomb, he's doing so much damage.
Absolutely. But like you're saying, I think they definitely do have some pretty strong win conditions on the side of the Kangaroo Corral with mid on that Victor and Camille
For sure.
for Lyle in that top lane. I mean, if they can get either of those champions to be fairly strong, I mean, Camille will just one-shot the Tristana, and she can't even get away due to that Camille ult. Victor should be able to shred through the front line pretty easily, especially if he builds any kind of burn. So while like we were saying, while it may be a little harder to execute their comp, they definitely have some pretty solid win conditions with at least comfort picks on some of their carries.
Yeah, I mean, but when you kind of consider the Ziggs kind of perspective as well, Verd has played incredibly well in the Ziggs, especially last week. I think he picked it twice, actually.
Yeah,
Looked really, really good on it. And the ability of Ziggs to just, like I said earlier, level any sort of game state. Even if they're falling a little bit behind in pacing in the early game, Ziggs is kind of the great equalizer. And that kind of fills the same shoes as Ezreal currently does in the meta. It's so tough to kind of siege up. It's so tough to start an objective. It makes it, you're always aware of where that champion is, what it's doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, even Victor too, to a degree, in terms of difficulty sieging against, it's going to be both teams looking like they're going to be able to wave clear very efficiently.
Absolutely. I mean, speedy poke as well on the Ashe is definitely not going to be negligible. Maybe a little bit more moving into late game, but I think there's a lot of pressure on Speedy and mid to be carrying this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like we'll be seeing fairly standard starts aside from
Toki a little bit late coming out
Toki's...
of base. Perhaps playing some Mordhau during the loading screen.
Yeah, quite possibly. Had to finish up what he was doing on the other game first. Whoa, what is that Rek'Sai skin?
Have you seen? Okay, I saw this on like a sneaky video. Have you seen that Faker meme video where he's like playing other games?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so it's a meme video that spawned its own like subset of videos where Faker will like be in a trading in lane and he'll just be tapped in like playing Minesweeper, and then he'll alt tab and go play like chess, and then he'll alt tab and be like in another league game at the same time. It's great. Would highly recommend it. I'll have to find it after these games.
Yeah, I'll definitely take a look at that. Sounds fun.
Yeah, it's excellent.
Looks like we'll be seeing bot side starts for both teams here. Pretty typical stuff coming out. Some early vision coming down. Actually, Verd getting a maybe not super deep ward, but definitely a good ward to see when Rek'Sai will be on top of those Raptors.
Yeah, nice counter ward coming from the Kangaroo Corral, though. Seeing that Verd went to place that ward, I mean, it was kind of obvious where he was coming from and where he was missing, but they'll know that Wally's going to be spotted out on his Raptors if he walks toward that. So both teams are going to be kind of aware of the early trap.
Yeah, absolutely.
Late leaps, but Toasty's going to get... Oh, that is a juicy E-proc. Plus 60. Oh. At the same time, Jacob's walking forward. This kind of early level 1 does go in favor of the Ashe Karma, just for pure range. Meanwhile, Lyle and Toki kind of holding steady up here in the top lane. Doran's Ring versus Doran's Blade starts an extra for Toki.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll also be seeing... Well, actually, I'm stand corrected. I was about to say we will be seeing full clears from both junglers. Looks like Fruge will be going for the full clear. Meanwhile, Wally has skipped. He's going buff Gromp buff, not quite buff Gromp.
Yeah, walking around trying to make sure he's not being tracked. So Word actually...
Yeah, he went around that ward because they did see Verd go in and place it. He went around the top, so he has not been seen on his red side yet. However, I will say, with as late as he is to his top side, they have to assume that he may have taken a different route.
I mean, you look at Nocturne's going to fish 5 points around the same time. Meanwhile, Jamkips actually misses the ult Q over onto Monkey, but gets a lot of free items. Assault. Meanwhile, if we check in on those jungler pathings as well, we're seeing 4 camps, only 3 camps actually for Wally as he goes for an early level 3 gank over onto Toki, misses the tunnel slightly, but is still able to land the knockup as they're going to force the flash out of their Cho'Gath. Meanwhile, Wally flashing forward lands the E in the final Q to be able to secure first blood. Excellent. 3 camps into top gank. Fruge secures the scuttle for himself, though.
Yeah, that'll be a very good kill for them, not only burning the flash, but also still managing to secure the kill. Wally, well played.
Nocturne's going to be coming in here around the side. Not sure he's going to be able to force any sort of summons or anything, but at least provide some safety for Verd.
Yeah, well played there from Wally to be able to get that gank. However, it isn't totally free for him, as he not only did Fruge almost full clear, it looks like his Gromp is still up, but he will be getting the double scuttles, so Wally will be behind in farm here, but gold should be fairly even with that kill.
Absolutely. Is able to secure double scuttle, and it is a pretty decent amount of CS up. Wally just going back and finishing his 4th camp, down, what's that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, down 3 camps against the Nocturne. Hopefully this early pressure is going to pay off.
Yeah, absolutely. Lyle will be getting the push in here, shoving this into the tower, which, with a slight farm lead, should end up evening out, but it will be pushing back to him as he's able to shove it into the tower. We'll have to see if Wally will go for a repeat gank up in the top lane with the Cho'Gath flash being down.
Exactly. Meanwhile, bot lane, we're seeing health bar positive for Speedy and Jampims actually on this early Karma Ash. To be expected. Meanwhile, the lane is actually in a great spot for them. That natural pushing coming from the Tristan. At the same time, Vert is going for a reset, and Fruget already on his 2nd clear. Finished his Krugs and now moving toward the Raptors. Looking pretty far ahead. So they really need this top lead.
And I gotta say with Wally, I mean, I'm certainly no jungle expert, but I think that's a pretty inefficient way he's gone about clearing this jungle, just with the way he's based and gone down to the bot side, and Wolves is now just being cleared for the first time. Which
yeah,
I wouldn't
that's
necessarily.
What I was wondering about.
I wouldn't necessarily, you know, flame him for it or whatever. But the point of that is that Nocturne is getting quite a farm lead right now, and should hit 6 very soon. Definitely well before Wally will.
No, I'm with you as well. I mean, the current meta is that you just need to keep your camps on cooldown, otherwise you're going to be just falling behind. But Rek'Sai is one of those early game, high damage base value junglers where he wants to be making stuff happen. And currently, even though Wally is falling a little bit further behind US Fruget, we're going to just not... Oh, yep, he's going to clip him with that scrying. Be aware of where Fruget is as well. So he really needs
right back.
Yep, exactly. Has the tunnel to be kind of just hanging out here, though. Ping that he's going to be coming to, might be looking for something.
There is no ward.
Toki. Yeah, no ward, no flash. Lyle's going to be going for it as well. Misses the stun. Toki might just be able to walk out of here as well. No, Lyle's going to ultimate force him into his little cage. Meanwhile, Wally is going to get the knock up again and just rebeds his top side as Lyle.
Oh, no.
Are you going to be able to get this?
No!
Look, he turns it under his own tower. Wally Warp not taking that additional tower shot. The dive goes wrong.
Oh no. They needed. It looks like Wally was trying to just donate that kill there, and really they just needed to take it.
That was it biscuits or something? I couldn't quite tell what it was. It looks like
I think Lyle was just... I don't know if he got any HP back. I think Lyle was just completely out of cooldowns. I mean, he only had his autos left, and they just barely were not doing enough.
Yeah, well, and Wally is here again, hoping to revisit this. I don't know if you want to dive him again. You're only level 5. Oh,
yeah,
no.
Meanwhile, Fruge has seen this top lane gank, and not only the top lane gank, but the failure of a top lane gank, and will be getting onto this first drag for free.
Absolutely, and that's the burden of these high execution junglers. Okay.
While he's doing the salty run back, really wants that gank to work. Toki will feel it out.
That's the burden of these high execution junglers, right? You have to be making perfect moves and playing really, really well on this Rek'Sai versus matchup. Otherwise, you're going to be falling behind, and as a team comp, you're going to fall behind.
Yeah, absolutely. And Fruge looking not only at the drag lead, but also an over 20 farm lead as he's going back to clear his jungle for the 3rd time, while Wally's still kind of in the middle of his 2nd clear.
Yeah, absolutely. 20 CS lead in the jungle. Meanwhile, all of their lanes are fairly even. Even Tokibon, after getting ganked twice, securing a kill himself on a reversal, is still fairly even with Lyle. It really has, this pressure has not paid out.
Yeah, not at all. On top of that, I think it's gonna work out for Wally, it would appear, but it is very dangerous as he does not know where Nocturne is, and there is no way he could fight that Nocturne right now, especially with Nocturne already being level 6. Nocturne actually looking towards the bot lane possibly for an ult here.
Yeah, it looks like I said, that first level 6 ult possibly going toward the bot side. If he's able to secure some pressure here, he is trading his top side jungle for this, so he will have to look for an evade himself. Wally was really playing toward Lyle here.
Looking not quite level 6 yet, but we'll see if they still go for this in the end.
Yeah, Lyle actually proxying as the Nocturne ult comes in now. The flashback from Jamkas, but he just gets absolutely blown off. Flashes out of the Leona ult himself, but Monkey is taking a little bit of damage in return. He might be looking for a turn on the cooldown. Yep, the flash Q coming through. And there is the Ziggs ult, and is able to secure it with the Comet. Excellent roam from Bird able to secure a kill for himself with that Nocturne ultimate, and now he's going to be looking for his own invade. Excellent first Nocturne game.
Very well played from the Verdant Monkeys. Also very well played there from Monkeys himself to punish Speedy for trying to turn around and get a little bit more damage on their Monkey.
We are looking a little bit frozen. All right. Okay, yeah, like you said, Monkey, great job looking for the turn. Speedy walking a little bit far forward, actually still has the cleanse. Monkey turns with the flash Q and is able to secure that.
Yeah, and well played on Monkey. Speedy was definitely in a minion wave there, so yeah. Monkey did not go ahead and flash Q a minion. That would have been pretty sad.
That would have been hilarious, but at the same time, Lawwall going for a little bit of E trade, takes a tower shot and ultimately ends up the worst end of that in Fruget, clearing his counterpart's jungle, going 1-for-1 in the jungle camps, and also securing a kill from the gank in the bot lane.
Yeah, Fruget's absolutely massive here. I mean, he's sitting on like 40 CS that he hasn't backed on yet, and as well as 2 assists. I mean, he is going to have a lot of gold.
Absolutely, yeah. And I see the question in chat. Yes, Jamkids is subbing in for Tilted today. Playing
Monkey
the Karma. Monkey actually on the little cross-map roam up here. Does he have ultimate available? Not quite. No ultimate, no flash, but he does land the E. The bone plating pops as he gets the magic hammer shield. Jukes outside of the Cho'Gath. Knocks up, but it's going to be enough damage coming through with the Cho'Gath ultimate. It secures the kill for Tokamon Panda, who is looking pretty large on this big, hungry demon boy.
Yeah, it looks like Lyle's flash was still up. I believe he would have just needed to respect flash that Leo, but looks like Jamcubs will be looking for a roam here.
Meanwhile, the likewise roam coming from the bottom. Jamcubs only level 6, but I'll take mid. I have damage to spare on this one, as Bird is going to get executed from that ultimate. Thank you, I guess, for the zoom in. Jamcubs, nice roam to counter Monkey, getting his own mid laner a kill.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, another ult coming in the bot lane here. That'll be a free kill. That's, yeah. Fruge is huge. Nothing Speedy can do there.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's an excellent answer from Farouge onto the bot lane there, punishing the roam from Jamcubs.
Yeah, Bird perhaps having to respect Flash early in that. We're seeing both solo laners, Lyle and Bird, actually not even burning Flash, like you said. Hope trying to just go for the juke plays, losing their life as a result.
Farouge is now going to.
They're going to look for the dive here. I think Ignite comes through. Toast is not quite following up, though. He's a little bit late on the uptake, but he's able to secure the kill nonetheless. Jamcups loses his life. Actually has the heal on the Karma. I didn't catch that earlier, as they're going to be able to secure another play as Fruge goes for the knocking here, gets the full tether as the cleanse comes through, but it's not going to be enough. As
that was an excellent
from the bot lane of the Kangaroo Corral. Yeah, excellent job from Fruge, hiding in that tri-bush until Speedy walks in.
Yeah, he knew he didn't have flash up there, and the cleanse didn't even matter because there were 3 people on him immediately. While trying to maybe look for something here, just maybe to pick up this farm that's coming in, but this game is quickly going in the favor of the Verdant Monkeys.
Yeah, exactly. Fruget has just been so impactful on this map, on also like 40 CS up on his lane counterpart. He is absolutely smurfing his early games. Lyle is looking for a ultimate himself onto the solo lane. Bird getting ganked yet again, and it is more money in the pocket for I'll take mid. So
yeah,
tit for
Bird
tat.
at this point dying to 2 ganks with flash up, but I gotta say, I don't think in either gank would his flash have saved him between the Karma Tether and the Camille ult. Mr. IREP anti-flash himself would be having some words for Bird right now.
I would say perhaps it does secure him a Trinket Dragon on the backside. Sees the Camille coming in a little bit late. His only perhaps hope there was maybe flashing under the turret, forcing the Camille to be under turret with him, but like you said, I don't think it's going to be enough regardless.
No, not at all. That is a good takeaway there from the side of the Kangaroo Corral here. Pretty important, not necessarily the air drake specifically, but just with the way this early game is going, getting at least 1 dragon just to delay that soul, because you do not want to be looking at a 24-minute soul.
Exactly, and your Rek'Sai is going to start falling off, so you really need to have some sort of win con, some sort of priority over objectives kind of moving into the mid late.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you were saying earlier, a 40 CS lead, and probably still growing in the jungle. Aside from that, though, CS is fairly even across the board. So certainly not looking hopeless for the Kangaroo Corral here. They just need to limit some of these deaths that are coming from the ganks right now.
Exactly. Crucially, though, Toasty with 3 kills. Down a little bit of CS across the map for the Verdant Monkeys. Perhaps not just CSing quite to the same level as their lane champions, but still, this kill gold is going to be really, really huge. 1.2k on the AD carry, slightly behind in the mid lane, but even in the top lane, and here is the big story. Almost 2k gold up in the jungle. Fruge is incredibly strong.
Yeah, Fruge has a massive lead for himself here. I will say, like you're saying, the 3 kills onto Toasty are very important. I'll take mid does have 2 of their 3 kills.
Oh, they're going to look to contest this 3 on 2 here as Verd is going to look for the ultimate, is able to secure a little bit of damage onto Wally and Lyle, but they are able to get out across the wall as they didn't pick up the eye. It is still in the pit, and they're going to sit on this until it disappears. Nice prio from Wally and Lyle, but they're not going to be able to get it. And so they're just going to pay Lyle's flash and get nothing. This is the worst trade deal.
Yeah, I gotta say, I think I agree with the call to get out there though. I don't think they could have. I don't think they could have gotten that Herald without giving 2 kills.
Yeah, and I guess it is 1440, so it is, you know, you're not going to get plate gold out of it. It's not going to be a huge valuable thing, but damn, that feels bad.
Yeah, absolutely, especially with
wait, Speedy has futures market.
Oh,
that is
Speedy is in debt currently.
I don't know about that one. Speedy known for his kind of like off the wall, off meta things. It's kind of a weird one where you kind of don't want to be giving up gold as an AD carry, but
hey man, speaking of IREP, Speedy's a friend of IREP, and you know that any friend of IREP's is going to be doing some little off meta things themselves. So who knows? Maybe he's just got a bigger brain
he just
than
really
all of
wanted
us.
his Kraken time. Yeah, I get that too. It does feel bad where you're like a little bit gold short and you're really about to hit your mythic. I get it. Do I agree with it? I think you could probably get more value out of another room in that. He really has to do something now for the futures market to be worth it at all.
Yeah, absolutely. But it looks like Monkey may be looking in the alcove here for some spicy plays.
Ooh, goes for the Zenith Blade doesn't quite land as Jamkas actually has the inside track on Monkey. Monkey juking back and forth. Is able to avoid the Mantra Q as he goes for the Soul Eclipse himself. Meanwhile, the immediate jump onto Jamkas. Jamkas being low, forced the flash heal out himself. Toasty PG not quite getting the pop as Lyle ult is TP'd in and he's able to get it. Toasty was able to reset his jump as the counter TP Pokemon as Monkey is getting extremely low. Pokemon Panda's here though, and he's looking extremely beefy though. At the same time, I'll take mid walking in onto Verd, flashing forward, is able to secure the kill. Yes! With a little bit of help from his friend, Wally Warp, the jungle mid duo. Good looks across the map from Kangaroo Corral.
Oh, that is some absolutely huge damage coming in from I'll take mid. Very unfortunate for Verd there as his flash almost got him out, but the Q from the Wally did connect.
We have a little bit of a freeze, but Fruge is walking. Oh my goodness, we're just suspended in time right now.
That last play was just so effective.
Nope, it doesn't matter because you're back into it. The Prowler's Claw forward as the fear comes through. Prowler's Claw isn't going to be enough damage because Fruge is able to secure the kill onto Wally Warp. His team was coming to help him.
That's the first time there we see the gold difference.
Oh, there's the Nocturne levels 10 onto the level 9 AD carry. Speedy is looking extremely low. Actually flashes forward. Here's the kill on the Karma first. Flywall a little bit low on mana, but Pokemon Panda is getting flanked by Altake mid. Force the flash out of it as Monkey is here, and we go into another flash. Admire some of these special effects. In the chat, let me know, A, does Toki die, or B, does he live? We're going to do a little bit of predict action. Okay, if you guess B, he lives, then you are 200 IQGs.
Hey man, you just gotta love that death ray animation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'll take mid, double buffs on this Victor, 3-0. He is extremely strong.
Yeah, absolutely. What a crazy series of fights there. I mean, it looked pretty strong there initially from the bot lane of the Verdant Monkeys, but then the TP play coming in from Lyle to turn that fight around into the mid pick, catching Verd, trying to roam down and possibly lend his ult to that fight, picking off Verd, but then Wally extending a little too far into the jungle, and I was going to say we saw for the first time that CS, or even just gold in general difference, where Frizz just absolutely murders Wally in the jungle, no chance.
Yeah, kind of a very extended 4-for-3. Verd losing his life in the jungle to Wally plus mid. Fruge getting that kill onto Wally as they invaded into his jungle, but actually dying for the bot lane, giving up a huge shutdown over to mid.
Yeah, Fruge
Meanwhile,
does pick up 2 kills for that, but did give, I'm not sure exactly how much, a lot of gold back. Ooh, Solar
oh
Kill on top
no,
lane.
top lane. Yeah, Zig stays a little bit late for the T4. And now it is a 4v4 here around the Dragon Pit. Lyle will obviously use the TP for the previous play. As Monkey's going to go over onto I'll take mid, but he is by himself, going for the Solar Eclipse as the Victor W comes through. And there's the Toasty jump in. He needs to be able to resets here as people, the health bars are so low. But Tokemon Panda's going to do it himself. He says, oh, right, I got this one. Toasty flashing forward, securing the kill onto Karma. And they are going to turn onto the Dragon in a fairly clean 4 for 3 in this 4 for 44.
Yeah, that seemed, it looked bad for the current Kangaroo Corral, and then it looked good for them again as mid like was still alive somehow in the middle of that fight. But then it just obviously ended very poorly for them as Toasty just managed to free fire that entire fight, not even touched.
Yeah, hopped over the wall. All the cooldowns had already been used, like you said, just free fire the entire time. Lost a little bit of vision in that push, didn't quite secure the resets the entire time and just forced super flash, but at the same time, more money in the pocket of this hyper carry Tristana.
Yeah,
Ooh, meanwhile, the
free tower here.
Yeah, free tower in the bot lane and the middle lane. Wow, great rotations on the back of that as well. Dragon plus 2 towers.
Yeah, in the end, that play has got to have been like over 1,000 gold, even more to this gold lead for the Verdant Monkeys, and especially now that they have 3 towers down and the enemy team has gotten 0. I mean, we're looking at an almost 4K gold lead.
Yeah, Lyle choosing to go top lane to match Bird, not being in that dragon fight. I don't know if that was necessarily the difference. Yes, he did secure the solo kill onto the Ziggs, but Ziggs is, I think, happy to take that because his team ended up winning the fight.
Yeah, I think I gotta say Lyle needs to. I mean, he's the only one that can really get onto Toasty here. So even if getting onto Toasty is just preventing Toasty from killing mid and Speedy, I mean, I think he needs to be there for his team.
Well, you saw the time he went by, he got the kill onto that big shutdown onto Toasty. So
yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, I can't necessarily say it's bad to go top and get a solo kill, but definitely possibly could have had a better result.
They're trying to make something cheeky happen around this little mountain rock sticking around the side, but they're going to pass over the jungle. Wally Warp has no idea what's going as Toasty jumps in with the Nocturne ult over top, plus the Ziggs ult, which is not even needed. Toasty is on another killing spree.
Ziggs ult not even giving an assist, but I gotta say, I like the
meanwhile, Lywalt goes over onto Tokemon Panda, the ult Q coming through Jamcobes around the side alongside Wally Warp. Rouget getting a little bit chunky with this Baron as he stands around the back side. Meanwhile, we might be looking for this as well. Monkey is in the Pixel Brush, hoping to deny any sort of entrance. The Ash Vision coming through, but Monkey is trying to zone the best he can, but he is just one man. And meanwhile, Cho'Gath is able to secure it, but there is the Victor damage coming onto both of the carries. Just absolutely nukes down the Tristana. He's getting low himself, though. Meanwhile, Tokemon Candy looking very large on the Cho'Gath as he knocks up Scooby Bandito. There's the slow coming through. Fruget is on the hunt alongside his 2 teammates, Bird and Tokemon Panda. They're going to be able to secure Scooby Bandito as the Karma flashes over the wall, and I'll take mid solos out Monkey inside his own jungle. It is an extended 3 for 3, I believe, maybe 2 for 3.
2 for 3 if you can continue. If you include Wally going down, definitely worth it for the Verdant Monkeys. Although not a complete disaster for the Kangaroo Corral, as mid definitely got that kill on a monkey, and Toasty did actually give a shutdown over there. I believe that went to mid as well. So once again, as grim as it is looking for the Kangaroo Corral, they do still have a very, very strong victory.
There's a Nocturnal going top over toward Eli. At the same time, we are looking at the side of the map. I'll take mid is able to get out of there with his phase rush. There's the Ziggs ult.
Ooh,
just juked out by I'll take mid. Nice little fancy feat. Is able to get out of there. Flash puts phase rush.
Yeah, excellent. We all get to see a fun rune being used in phase rush, where kill should have been Fruge's 100%, but Victor makes sure he hits at least 3 abilities and runs away at 100 million miles per hour.
Right, yeah. The spell shield not enough for Nocturne to be able to get onto him and secure it. In fact, as we are kind of just been doing a little bit of a dance around the map, the gold has gotten fairly stagnant. It's still just about a 4K gold lead for the Verdant Monkeys. So,
yeah,
at least it's not getting worse.
Yeah, one thing to keep in mind is Fruge has actually lost this farm lead, or not lost the lead rather, but lost this like 40 farm lead that he had.
Yeah.
While he has managed to close the gap a little bit. So at that, and there's a farm lead growing in the top lane, and even a little bit of farm lead in the other two lanes as well. I mean, the Verdant Monkeys are still very comfortable in this game. They're going to have to be careful if this keeps stalling out like this and they keep falling behind in farms.
Yeah, I mean, I still think compositionally, I really like the Verdant Monkeys. What they have to offer, I think this Rek'Sai is going to be pretty useless. At the same time, Bruce Stridebreaker forward, over on Jamkins, he's going to get feared up. Monkey might be looking for this Solar Flare. At the same time, the Nocturne ult is able to secure the kill onto the Karma, and there is the Tokamon knockup and the chunk from the Cho'Gath. Speedy Bandito's ult goes a little bit up. Lyle Walt going over onto Toasty and is able to secure the kill and lives a triumph. Pokemon Panda flashing over the wall. Speedy Bandito with no flash himself is forced to just kite this one out. DJ may be looking for a flank as they're just going to push down middle. Pokemon Panda 1v2 here, zoning off the enemy team. Verdant Monkeys are pushing down mid lane and he's going to be able to secure some.
Yeah, Baron just now falling off. They get one turret. Definitely will be able to get this next one as well. We'll see if they're able to get the inhib here. I gotta say, Kangaroo Corral needs to peel and help out. I'll take mid there. I mean, he was just left entirely to himself, dealing with both Fruge and Tokimon there. Now, granted, it was
TP coming continuing. I'll take mid, and they're going to go over onto Pokemon Panda. He's very, very tanky, but he does get stunned up. Speed Bandito's now here, has the rune, and it's going to be chipping him down very, very slowly, but ultimately, Lyle Walt with that extra true damage coming through, but he goes pretty deep. Actually just dodges that Zenith Blade and gets chunked on the way out, as Nocturne secures another dragon for his team.
Yeah, and right there is the importance of that early air drag that would have been soul for the Verdant Monkeys had they not gotten that early on, which would have been very sad for the Kangaroo Corral to be trying to deal with a Cho'Gath and Leona with the Mountain Soul.
Yeah. I'm with you. I think that would be very, very concerning. One thing I want to bring up for that previous team fight is I wonder what Toast used his. I think he needs to be, like you said, the only real threat onto him is Lyle on this Camille, ulting onto him. What is he using it on? If he's not using it to ult the Camille out of her ult, I think he needs to be saved.
Yeah, quite possibly. It's maybe a possibility that he's ulting him away when he eased forward. Regardless, I would say Toasty, even if he is ulting him away, it's hard to deal with that Camille by yourself. It's an ADC, so I'd like to see. It was a little bit of a chaotic fight due to the pick nature of it onto Jamcubs initially. So we saw a lot of little fights going on all over the place. But I would really like to see both teams feeling better for their carries.
Absolutely. Jamcubs obviously a substitute, can be too critical, but I have not seen a whole lot of Mantra shields coming through. I think that's pretty important for him to start really transitioning into that more support mindset. You're not going for the Mantra Qs anymore, you're just shielding up, buffing up that move speed, and really making sure your team is able to play.
Yeah, absolutely. If we could actually go back to that the gold graph just for a second here. We got a 2.5k in the bot lane. 2k or 1.5. Actually, we're looking to get into a fight here.
Oh, trade with Rouget, and Wild Thingman is able to secure it with the pop from his E. Leona goes in to try and protect his jungler, but he might be in trouble now, as well as the true damage from the Camille Q2 activation. He's on the hunt still. Bird might be in a little bit of trouble as the Astro is able to land onto him while he went flashing over the wall and is able to Prowler Storm, get the knockup and shut down the 6. And Camille still wants more. He's going to be going up to Toasty. Toasty, you have to force him out as he actually saves his life. And there's the Rek'Sai ult getting the double kill onto Tristana.
Wow.
Oh,
what
no, a disastrous turn of events for the Verdant Monkeys.
What a throw, man. I mean, they will be getting one tower, but then trading another tower in return, even a second tower in the mid lane here. I mean, it's not going to close the gold gap, but it's going to put it pretty darn close. I mean, we were just looking at like a 5k. It's now down to like 1.5, and they might. No, they're not going to go for this. Yeah. I gotta agree. That would be a little greedy with Nocturne coming in.
These Lyle ults are insane. He is absolutely isolating people and securing his Q2 activation and doing so much damage. It's nuts.
Yeah, I mean, all around, I would say very well played from the Kangaroo Corral there. And Fruge, I'm not sure what he's doing there. I guess he just didn't expect.
He's going to be looking for something here over onto Wally Warp. Is going to be able to spell shield any sort of knock. There's the Mantra E coming through, but Leona is behind him and is going to be looking for the full kill as Pokemon Panda actually coming from the mid lane on the flank. The Mantra E, just the normal E over, but Pokemon Panda is just getting tickled by these enemy carries. The mid lane and the AD carry.
I don't think either of carries, or even Lyle, well, I guess Lyle has Thunder, but there's really not any kind of like max health damage, I don't think, coming through. So Toki's
they're going
very
to turn
happy
onto
in
the
these
Baron
fights.
as the Mantra Q comes through. Monkey yet again on zoning duty as the Baron is getting dangerously low. Well, I'll take mid. Obviously has vision of this with his pink cord. Speedy Bandito the W, but they're going to try and execute Rouget as the Baron actually goes over for the ad. He steals it with the W. Where was the smite? Doesn't look like it was up. They were trying to zone and just secure it with the Cho'Gath E, but Pokemon Panda slightly miscalculates and it actually gets stolen and stalls this game out further.
Yeah, that's...
Oh no!
That's a huge throw there. I mean, they find the pick onto Wally for his overextending, kind of being around the Baron pit for no real reason when he's when he's a little low on health. They chase him down, get the kill, but then turn onto the Baron, which should have been a pretty free
play. Yeah, it should
have
been free with the Cho'Gath.
It should have been free, no smites on either side, just get a Cho'Gath ult, which is more than smite anyways, and it's just a little misplay there.
Dead. Lyle goes in
dead
as a
again,
huge distraction as Wally is kind of in an awkward spot. Toasty flashes over the wall looking for the kill secure. Rouget actually with the Nocturnal double flash plus ultimate being blown. As they are now looking for the return. Speed Bandito is doing some damage to this Cho'Gath.
TP
from Pine might be just the ticket. No Nocturnal. Force the flashback over the wall as Pokemon Panda is now getting a little bit caught out. And they trade 1-for-1 jungle for top, but they might be looking for a little bit more. Are on a ward, and there is the Ziggs zoning potential with the Minefield plus the constant just spam coming through. As they are going to be setting up on this dragon, actually sitting here in the pixel version, they might be able to secure a kill over onto the field. Though Lyle while walking back out, but he is going to be dangerously low, half health. At the
this is a really important pick for both teams.
Oh, I don't know about starting up this dragon. This might be kind of a questionable decision. No jungler. Rouget walking forward. Toasty tapping onto that pink cord, but I'll take mid doing the same thing as the Zig. Just constantly spamming out his abilities, popping his W over onto this, so make sure nobody's in there. But the Zig's damage is definitely non-negligible. They have good vision over onto red side. Now getting very, very chunked. And now Toasty jumping forward over onto it, just gets absolutely annihilated by I'll take mid. Double thank you. There's Monkey over in the back line, over onto Wild, but there's a stopwatch coming through. I'll take mid getting very, very low. There's so much Minefield damage. Ziggs is absolutely chunking the enemy team, but there are very low health bars. Are they going to be able to do it? No! 1 HP from the Kangaroo Corral. They are forced to disengage. Ziggs looking very, very low on mana. And now Monkey is caught out, but there's the Cho'Gath here to save the day. It is not going to be enough as the Kangaroo Corral in a very, very dicey fight.
Once again,
secure 3 for none.
Yeah, once again, pure chaos in that fight here. Tokyo actually kind of looking, so you gotta be, real careful going for that.
No flash, no flash. So if he goes over there, he's definitely. Oh no, he does have flash. Sorry.
Yeah, he does have flash. Regardless, I mean, definitely a major feels bad for Rouget there with multiple targets leaving at basically 1 HP. This I'll take mid Victor is just getting more and more massive. And not to be too toxic, but a little bit of an int there from Toasty, excuse me, to jump in there and just immediately get blown up by I'll take mid and Lyle. Yeah, I gotta say, I think they did need to pull the trigger there. I don't think Toasty was the person to do so, because I was looking at, not only was Wally about 10 seconds ahead of Toki, Verd was getting very, very low on mana, and after that ulti was just completely so like they did need to do something. That fight was going to go poorly for them in the end, but Toasty jumping in was not the call.
I mean, even I almost wonder if they could have just gone for the dragon. I guess you get zoned pretty hard by the Victor, like you said, but you have the Cho'Gath, you have the smite plus Cho'Gath ult secure.
Well, Cho'Gath's
really tanky.
Cho'Gath was still dead.
Oh, excuse me, you're right. Yeah, Cho'Gath was still dead. Okay, maybe not. I totally forgot about that. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Monkey had his ult up or not, or I don't know. It was a tough spot to be in, regardless. But
yeah. Oh, crucially, the Rouget is so sad.
Yeah, they've taken. Bars? Yeah, they're so low. And I gotta say, with 2 low health bars like that, I can't help but wonder if maybe he could have played that a little better. I didn't see if he put all his damage on one target or not. Maybe he got a little greedy trying to get both. Not sure, but regardless, we're not looking at a gold lead. Actually, a pretty reasonable gold lead of 1.5k for
the Kangaroo Corral.
The Kangaroo Corral, and they managed to stall this soul out and get an extra drag in their favor.
Yeah, we got a nice little freeze frame here yet again. The 4 stars of the show: Verd plus Monkey plus Toasty plus Rouget and Eli. Everyone else does not matter in this game. as a
Yeah, I think
producer has
unfortunately
finally shown us.
yeah, I think unfortunately we'll just have to wait out those freezes. I'm not
Yeah,
sure
not
that
a big
there's too
deal.
much to be done about it. It's
I'll
all
take mid
good
is
though.
huge though.
Yeah, I'll take
I'll
mid.
take
It's
mid is
massive.
huge. Speedy's pretty big. I think he needs an LDR pretty bad though. I mean,
Yeah,
double
could we
mountain full,
actually
or excuse
could
me,
we
double
actually
mountain
check
plus.
the gold, please?
Yeah.
I want to see. Yeah,
Ooh.
Mid's
Yeah,
got
he's
a
pretty
lot
far
of gold
ahead.
there. Actually, Lyle has the most gold. What in the world? That's not what I would have expected. But Lyle has the most gold by at least 1K over.
I mean, I think he kind of deserves it. He's been playmaker on his team. He's definitely doing work.
Yeah, I think he's just picked up multiple shutdowns onto like Toasty, and I think he got that one onto Fruge when Fruge went for that double kill in the river. So yeah, Lyle's getting absolutely massive on this Camille here.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm.
So one thing real quick to note is like I was saying earlier, like these gold leads, or excuse me, CS leads, they're just growing. Like Speedy is now 40 over Toasty, Lyle is 40 some over Toki. I mean, this is exactly what they need to not do. They ran into some bad fights
really
and now are
concerning.
just falling behind in gold across the board now.
Yeah, all of their deaths have kind of really cost them. They've gotten Baron. Excuse me, no, they got Baron one time, kind of lost all of it, and didn't get really anything off of the back of it. And then the second time gets stolen by Speedy, and they're losing so much tempo on all of these kind of just mistakes that are coming through. Honestly, I don't want to be too harsh, but that's kind of what it is. They're just making mistakes that are really, really costly.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at this point, all there is to say is it's anyone's game. I mean, 1.5K at 34 minutes is basically nothing. I mean, these fights are just going to have to be purely either whoever picks better, positions better, plays fights better. I mean,
yeah, I gotta say I still like Verdant Monkey's composition better, but if they're going to continue to make mistakes like this, kind of make some misplays, and the team fights are going to continue to be this messy for them, I gotta say I like King Lucraw's chances.
Yeah, I mean, I think Verdant Monkeys, in terms of their comp, they really just need to. I mean, Toki being in the front line, obviously important just to soak up that Victor damage, but they really need to prevent Lyle from killing Toast.
There's no one in side lanes. This is very confusing to me. All TPs are up. Nobody's in side lanes pushing or really doing anything. Now
I think everyone's scared here. I mean, with this back and forth this game has been, I think everyone's scared that one little pick on either side is going to end the game.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Not that I'm saying that's
Nocturne Leona has, but ooh, as soon as I say something, Lywall is in the side lane. Now Monkey is here to respond with 3 of his team members. There's the Nocturnal and the Solar player. Pujay goes over onto Lywall. Lywall has no mobility left over and is actually getting knocked completely down to pretty low HP, but his team is here to support. There's the Corellian. Monkey is in kind of a rough position. As there, Lywall just absolutely annihilates Toasty. Toasty's on the GA coming back up, but the team fight might already be lost. And this time Speedy's just chunking onto Pokemon, doing tens of damage, but Lywall and Eli are now here to help him out, as Wally might actually trade his life here, getting a little bit low, but trying to save him. Lywall just goes directly onto the dragon.
What a crazy fight there. Toki flashing over the wall and basically one-shotting Gem Pips there. Lyle barely surviving.
Oh, Lywall actually still has the GA. It's just him versus the 2 carries. No. It just absolutely destroys Toasty. Toasty has not had any fun versus this Camille, and Lyle is still on the hunt. He is the MVP of this game so far. He might be looking for more.
He's going to get him. He's got him.
Quite going to be enough, but he's able to force the flash out of the sticks. He still has enough food to get aced. Lyle is an absolute monster on this Camille as his team goes towards the Baron. He might be able to make more happen. Actually, setting a trap with this Leota while you are getting a little bit of health back from the Scuttle, as they are going to be so far ahead.
I dare say I think that's game. I mean, they had... I don't know. I mean, that pick was really... I think it looked good initially, but as soon as Lyle flashes out, you can't keep going for it, because his team was just immediately there to support, and the rest of the team was not.
Oh, there's
Lyle's overstayed.
Lyle out of mana has definitely overstayed, and the Fear coming through. Actually, Fear's a minion! Lyle is just walking out scot-free at the moment. The Choke Death knockup misses, but Leona is on the side, maybe looking for something as well, and Lyle is definitely going to be dead here. Gets pretty greedy. There's the Choke Death chop, forcing out the GA. There's the knockup as well, and Lyle getting knocked back out as Toasty takes the kill gold for that big shutdown.
Yeah, that is huge. Way too much of an overstay from Lyle there. That's a 62-second death timer immediately after his death.
That really stalls out his team's narrative.
It stalls
That's
out the
huge.
Baron. I mean, literally losing what is Baron, like 3 minutes. Literally using a third or maybe a fourth of the Baron just off of that.
Yeah.
I
Let's
gotta
go ahead
say,
and look at items again.
I would have liked to see
Thank God.
Verdant
There's
Monkeys.
LDR components. Oh my God, we are saved.
Right. I would
Out
have
of
liked to
this.
see Verdant Monkeys just rush down mid lane there and take that open inhib,
Yeah,
because you
Speedy
don't have to worry
Bandito.
about minions with the Baron. But
Ooh,
regardless, looks like they'll just use it to stall out.
they're pinging over onto Pokemon Panda, and they have a nice little bit of flank. Level 17s on both of these people. Pokemon Panda is quite tanky though. Wally Ward actually doing absolutely no damage, but Eli is here as well, has the Void Staff, has a little bit of penetration, and they are doing it to
Ooh.
this Cho'Gath. I'll take a bit is unstoppable as actually his
Meanwhile,
own team gets engaged over onto, and the flash comes out from Speedy Bandito. Wow.
oh, TV actually coming in.
And
I
TP
think
from Lyle
both.
Wall
TP
is
from
going to be
both.
looking to serve on this fight. Once again, as the Ash ult comes through, and he's doing so much damage to Toasty. Toasty ult way too late. It doesn't end up doing anything as Lyle Wall on the fight is able to do one shot. He Ziggs and Fruget by himself in the backlane jam because this CC
That's game.
as it
That's
is
gotta be
a
game.
full wipe. The GA from the Nocturne, but it is not going to be enough. While the Kangaroo Corral pull off a huge upset on the back of this Lyle Walt Camille and are pushing for the end.
Yeah, man, that's Baron. 15 seconds on Toki. I mean, that's got to be game here.
Oh no, Verdant
We've got-
Monkey's falling apart in the second half of this game. I hope they're not until there's still potentially 2 more games left in this series. They really have to reset.
Yeah, almost 40-minute game here. 66,000 to 75,000 gold. What a crazy game here.
Ooh, the job not quite enough. Yeah, a little bit of
absolutely
crazy. A little bit of a throw, perhaps from Verdant Monkeys, but also great job from the
huge
Kangaroo
throw.
Corral. Yeah,
Huge throw from Verdant Monkeys. They were up the majority of the game in gold. They had the drag lead, they had everything, and they're just multiple picks and shutdowns going back over. Yeah, I don't know what to say for them. I think they got a little too excited, maybe is the right word.
Yeah.
They just got too comfortable being ahead and started throwing themselves at the Kangaroo Corral, and it just lost them the game in the end.
Yeah, some, like you said, some crucial misplays, some fights that just don't go their way, and this just, I mean, I don't know if strategically, there's a lot you can really say because there's necessarily uncharacteristic mistakes. There's things that you would look back and be like, okay, obviously don't do that. But I think for the Verdant Monkeys, they just need a mental reset. They need to get up between the games and make sure they're like, okay, we were dominating this game, and then we made some really, really big errors that allowed the Kangaroo Corral to get back into it, and allowed Speedy Bandito to crucially get back into it, and Lyle to really take over this game.
Yeah, absolutely. I got to agree with that 100%. I mean, you have to just mentally reset and say, we were hard winning the early game. You know, Fruge had an absolutely massive lead between farm, picked up kills, and they just went a little too hard. I mean, you just got to reset. You got to say, let's just play that early game again, and then this time we'll play more as a team, and we'll just close out easily.
Sure, yeah. This time, don't throw.
I will say, real quick, for these damage graphs, not quite, I think, what we'd expect. Actually, relatively low across the board for a 40-minute game. I mean, I'm looking at only 38,000 on Victor.
Yeah,
fairly
low, like you said, but almost 1k DPM from the Victor. Pretty low, unfortunately, across the board for the Verdant Monkeys, and that's what needs to change. For next game, Kangaroo Corral just pulled off a huge upset during this game against the Verdant Monkeys. So we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back for our game 2 in this week 4 matchup. We'll see you in a bit. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to, frankly, what is kind of a banger of a matchup between the Verdant Monkeys and the Kangaroo Corral. I am Airbox, and I'm joined by the Kingslayer, the Regicidal top lane, Blood, Bath and Beyond Blood. How was that first game? Kind of a crazy one.
Pretty crazy, I gotta say. I mean, definitely back and forth. Definitely a lot of misplays from both teams, but that makes an exciting game for the stream. I mean, gotta love all the kills, gotta love the chaos. A lot of fun stuff to cast.
Crucially, between games, we now have Monkeys. Let's see if when Bull's buff is going to be enough to carry Verdant Monkeys to a dub here.
Ooh,
Ooh.
we are out of draft.
Not enough to carry us into draft, that's for sure. Didn't quite catch what the bans were initially there, but yeah,
got a little client bug
coming through.
I will say, in the meantime, you can see a little cameo from my dog here.
Ooh.
Got the
a dog. Oh my goodness,
the ears on stream. I do have a corgi. Yeah.
It's so cute. Oh my goodness. Look. Is it a boy or a girl?
She is a girl, and her name is Sophie.
Oh my goodness, she's just taking a little nap. I see her ears. Yeah, I didn't notice that earlier.
Yep.
That's so cute. Well, if you ever feel the need to hold her during the cast, I will certainly say.
Maybe I will. Maybe she'll show up again at the end of the stream.
That'd be wonderful. As now we are into the draft. If you love Sophie, show me some dogs in chat. But that being said, we are now in the draft. Same bands as before, slightly different order. Zillion, Echo. There's the Ziggs this time around. Do not want to be stalled out by that.
Yeah, not surprised by that. I'd expect to see fairly similar bands. I'm curious to see if we might see maybe the Camille. I'm not surprised to see the same 4 bands in terms of the mid laner. Same bands in as a whole. Or actually, am I wrong there? I think the Ezreal ban is switched. I think the red side is banning Ezreal both games.
That makes sense. Ezreal in such a state at the moment, especially with Toasty and Speedy, both very comfortable on the champion. Fruge also obviously never going to get a purple again for the dismantling that he put on this thing. I also had quite a good showing in the early game this time, but a little bit of a rough mid game and late meant that the Nocturne wasn't able to quite have the same effect.
Yeah, absolutely. Leona coming through again for Monkey picked by Tokimon. That Aurelia. I don't know if I believe.
There's no way. Nobody plays it on your team. Yeah,
no. Jin actually coming through for Toasty in first rotation this time, as it was banned in second rotation last game.
Yeah, Kangaroo Corral actually trading out that Jin ban in favor of that Ziggs ban.
Yeah, absolutely. Karma actually coming through again for Jam Cubs, so it looks like we may be seeing a fairly similar bot lane. I mean, Jin is definitely a little different dynamic than
the Gwen.
The Gwen
yeah, I didn't even notice.
Through.
Yeah, because they dropped the Gwen ban in to pick that up.
For the Ezreal.
Oh, that is spicy.
I gotta say that's definitely, I think, still a good call. I think Ezreal is definitely stronger than Gwen right now, especially. I mean, Gwen is a solid champ, but she definitely has her downsides. Ezreal, meanwhile, kind of doesn't have downsides.
You know what? I would love mid to take Viego. Actually, I think that would just tick it. But
that would be some pure
instead
spice.
takes. Yeah, there's Speedy's signature champ actually picks up the Kate instead.
Right,
Viego's obviously still an option. But...
Speedy being a very good Caitlyn player, I once again am no kind of player other than a top laner. So I've heard that Caitlyn is not very good right now.
No, she's not. One of his signature champs, though, I think if there's anyone in TCL who could make it work, I think it's going to be the K. I just hope he doesn't go top rune. I think that rune is terrible. But yeah. Ooh, the Olaf. A little bit of spice. Okay.
Yeah, Olaf, if you asked a year ago, Olaf would have been a 0 amount of spice because that champ was heavy meta, but has since fallen really, out.
Like, preseason, he was pretty good then, but
yeah. I'm curious to see how Fru's going to play this. I mean, you don't see a whole lot of Olafs these days, so I think they're definitely.
Just get that Victor out of here. I like his adaptation. Just don't give him Victor at all. Mid was so strong.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to particularly care about anything from Wally, so I'd expect to see another mid ban here. In fact, it looks like we're going to see a total of 8 mid bans, I would expect, in this game. unless they're going to ban something from Pokemon, which I wouldn't expect. Maybe
They really
the
don't want Verd to have fun. Just
yeah, no, they don't.
trip Verd bans and then the kind of obligatory Ruffle.
Yeah, I'll say maybe they'll ban the Gnar from Pokemon, but aside from that, Gwen is fantastic into everything Toki plays. I mean, Cho'Gath or Ornn or Shen or anything like that.
Yeah, I
Like
think this
Gwen
has to
just
be Gnar.
loves to shred those champs.
Yeah, I think Frugier needs to make sure that this Gwen doesn't get too big, and while
Yeah.
he can't take over the game like he did last game.
Yeah,
Or excuse me, not
absolutely.
Wally, Lyle.
Right, right. Yeah, I definitely agree with that ban.
I think that makes a lot of sense as well. There's the Aphelios hover yet again.
I don't. That's not
Jin
gonna
already
happen.
picked up, but
Yeah.
unless we see Jin going somewhere else, it's highly unlikely.
Does he wants to? He really
Or
wants
the
to.
memes, yeah, exactly. We could see Leona top. We could see Leona top with Aphelios Jin bot. You know, I've
Yeah,
seen
yeah.
worse things. Aphelios top potentially.
Aphelios and
Yeah.
Jin both have some form of CC, so
Yeah, it's the
ooh,
Darius. Yeah, it's actually
Darius for Pokemon.
Yeah.
So
if Wally
I
actually plays his
a little counter
pinball,
BM ban with or hover with the counter Aphelios with
Yeah.
AECs being you know. So
he also does play Aphelios. I will throw that out too. But obviously Cater.
Yeah.
So.
I will touch on this Darius matchup in a minute here once we see all the picks, but
Trundle, interesting. Wally's been pretty spicy with some of these picks. I don't really understand kind of like some of the thought processes behind them. Kind of can you enlighten me on that? What's the thought of the Trundle?
I mean, I think Trundle obviously has some pretty solid ult targets here, especially with the Leona. I mean, if you ult her while she's Wing, you're gonna get a ton of stats. I think Trundle is also just a fat front line for them. The pillar can provide some pretty.
The Zed, the Altec mid Zed.
I think okay,
that is spicy.
I'm excited to see this because if I remember correctly, the last time I saw Altec's mids Zed in TCL was the or maybe I don't know if he played it at all last season. I just remember a game in season 1 TCL that Altec's mids team.
They actually take the this game is just insane. They
That's
actually pick the Lux into the Zed.
Yeah, I'm not surprised in terms of like that's probably like Verd's next most comfortable champ.
They have to make sure that Eli doesn't feast here though.
Yeah, the matchup does definitely a little scary.
They have it's gonna be tough to. I mean, you look at what Verdant Monkeys are packing. It has to be this Leona to CC up the set. Nobody else is going to be able to stop this Zed from just running over this.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll just say about I'll take mid Zed. I just remember maybe it wasn't the last time he played it, but there was one game in season 1 of TCL that Altek's mid team was heavily on the back foot and was losing relatively hard, except for Altek mid, who was absolutely massive and solo carrying the entire game entirely on his shoulders, had like 20 kills or something in a game that his team was behind, did an absurd amount of damage, still ended up losing, but he's got a good Zed if he gets ahead, so I'm really excited to see that.
Yeah, he is a force to be reckoned with on really any mid lane assassin that you can bust out here. And when I look down the lanes, I think it looks pretty decent for the Kangaroo Corral compared to what we were looking at last time around. But can you enlighten me a little bit on the top lane? This is kind of an interesting.
Yeah,
matchup.
so this matchup,
right, with her shield.
So as long as he's outside of the range of the W, you can block anything. You can block
That's
the E. You could even block. You could even I don't know if you can cancel the ult if it's already in cast, but he can't target you with the ult while you're in the W. So Gwen Darius is definitely a skill matchup.
For sure.
Gwen has some really solid tools to win against Darius. I mean, her E being mobility is fantastic. You can either E away from Darius when he Qs, you can E into the middle of it when he Qs. Gwen is going to have a very distinct advantage level 1 just because her her E just gives an insane advantage level 1 against most any champ. Meanwhile, until they hit 6, Darius is going to have a decent advantage. Maybe not level 2, but definitely level 3 going on. Darius is going to have the advantage having just the raw stats from 5-stack passive in an extended fight. Once they hit 6, it just is very, very back and forth. I mean, the whole lane, it's going to be just skill matchup. I mean, in the
Yeah.
end of things, Gwen will outskill, and Gwen will just shred Darius in the end.
My
But
concern with the Olaf and the Lux is that they really have to capitalize on this early game. Right? Like, they have to make sure that I'll take mid does not get far ahead, and they have to make sure that Gwen isn't going to be able to just face roll the stairs and then scale.
yeah,
Because you look at like moving into mid late, nobody can really match this Gwen on the split, and then on
right.
top of that, nobody can really deal with her if she's able to get a nice flank like Lai was able to do last game and get onto the back. Like what are they what can they do in that situation?
Right, and even beyond Lyle, I mean, I agree with all of that, but even beyond that, I mean, there's all take mid said. Like,
Exactly.
if he gets big enough, even the Darius and Olaf are gonna have struggles dealing with him. And if you can't fight him, he can just run away from him. I mean, they're not gonna be able to run down a Zen, especially if he's got like Yomu's or something. So like, this is gonna be a really big pain if the Kangaroo Corral tries to run a 1-3-1.
Exactly. Yeah. Not to mention, we haven't even talked about the bot lane yet. Jamkip's once again on the clearly comfort pick for him, but Speedy Bandito, he's able to follow up. He's like one of the few AD carries that can actually follow up when these kind of skirmishers are kind of doing their thing. He can press R on whoever Zed's going on. He can press R on whoever Gwen is skirmishing with. You know, I kind of like how the Caitlyn ends up running this comp, even though she's not necessarily a meta AD carry.
Right, absolutely. And I think it's definitely going to be it's going to be an interesting bot lane in that it's going to be very annoying for Toasty and Monkey just with the amount of poke and range on the other side.
Right.
However, they also have a little bit of a difficulty if Monkey does decide to hard engage getting away from that. So it'll definitely be a little bit of a volatile bot lane.
Speedy once again packing the cleanse, which I really like, versus Leona, plus Jin follow up with the W, the Deadly Flourish. At the same time, if he gets caught out by this Lux going into mid late, it's also a great summoner for that for Jay, taking the Ghost Olaf. While on the other side, we're seeing PTA plus Flash. So mid also with the Ignite, looking for some early action.
Yeah, it looks like we'll have a pretty standard 5-point. I haven't watched every TCL game, but I don't think we've seen a single invade this season. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
Not yet, actually. Curiously,
a lot of 5 points, so I can't complain. Everyone knows my thoughts of invades. As long as they're done right, they're okay. But I don't see them done right most of the time. So,
well, while we're on the subject of your thoughts, can you enlighten me on your thoughts on Ignite?
I didn't hear you there.
Your thoughts on Ignite top.
Ignite top lane? Oh, I love it, dude. You should always take Ignite top.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So what about a scenario? I want to play top lane. I'm a new top laner. Would you recommend only ever taking Ignite top?
I think you should only ever take Ignite top, and I think that will cause your opponent's top laners to just love you.
Excellent. Actually, a great deep ward for the Kangaroo Corral over onto the red buff, knowing that Olaf's going to be on this red start. Nice early vision game coming through.
Yeah,
Ooh, as they look to invade themselves from the bot lane, getting a nice little action shot here. Wally War posing up for the camera. Speedy Bandito's looking for that leash as well. Cross map starts, it looks like.
Yeah, it's 1:30. Buffs just spawned, everyone.
While we
oh there we go.
Don't even get me away for nice little Mantra Q there, getting a little bit of chip damage plus the comment over onto Toasty. They're going to know that Wally is starting here though, yeah.
So yeah, they're both gonna see junglers out unless Wally went particularly out of his way to avoid that ward, which he did not. Interestingly enough, Wally's doing the same thing he did last time. Looks like Fruge will be going for the full clear, and Wally will be going straight buff Gromp perhaps.
Toki with actually a W start on this Darius, as Monkey is able to secure that ward clear, but takes a little bit of poke damage around the side as Speedy gets a nice headshot from go on to Toasty. Good trading from the side of Kangaroo Corral's at the moment. Meanwhile, top lane, it's just a lot of posturing. Meanwhile, Jamkis gets another Mantra Q onto Monkey. Monkey is taking a hefty chunk.
Yeah, and this is kind of what we had mentioned in the early game. There's just so much range and poke, especially level 1 when there's nothing to match. Yeah, there's nothing to match from Toasty and Monkey level 1, so they do actually.
I'm of the opinion that there's too much mean from support. That I think from particularly the spell phase item, there's just Jamkis, look how many abilities he's used, and man is still full.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to say I think there's a little bit of too much of everything. aside from... Oh, actually,
Ooh, as the early level 3 from Wally Warp yet again over on the Toki.
respect flash from
out.
Pokemon.
Yeah,
I agree with
Wally
it.
actually skipping both camps outside the buff from the bot side, just going for the 3-camp top lane game.
Yeah, man, it's the buff ground start.
Wow. Buff Gromp straight into the top game.
So
Meanwhile,
he does...
Jay on a full clear.
He does grab the flash off of Toki, which is good. However, if he isn't able to turn that flash away from Toki into a kill, which, by the way, Lyle is... If the... If Toki farms under tower well here, Lyle's just behind, aside from that flash.
Yeah.
So across the board, this is, as long as that flash isn't turned into a kill, this is very nice for the Verdant Monkeys. And we're actually seeing Fruge with as fast as Olaf clears and being seen Trundle on that top side, he's already cleared out his Raptors and may actually go ahead and... Okay, he will recall here. I'd say it might be a little greedy.
He doesn't have Prio in the bot lane.
Trundle's going to run into him, though, here.
Yeah, I think he's going to get out, though. Unless the pillar comes through, no, not going to be fast enough, as he doesn't quite secure that. But crucially, I want to point out that because junglers started cross map, Wally was still able to get a scuttle on that. Meanwhile, last time, because they didn't start cross map, Fruge just walked in and double scuttled him and just set him in like incredibly. Obviously, it wasn't insurmountable, but it certainly felt that in the video.
Yeah, it's definitely important that he got that scuttle, but at the same time, Fruge still was able to snag one of his camps on that first clear. So Fruge still is pretty decently ahead here. Perhaps not a full scuttle, but still a full camp. I mean,
yeah,
once
full
again,
clear plus one
strong.
of the enemy junglers is looking here. Monkey flashing forward over onto Jam because doesn't have anything to be able to get out. Does have the heal plus he forces the flash out as Wally Warp has on the counter game. Now Monkey with no flash himself is getting very, very low in the first blood. Wally Warp plus the heal from Jam is able to get back out. Fruge on this Olaf is getting a little bit of damage in, but he's not going to be able to secure anything on the back end of this as Speedy posing up onto him. Toasty TG, not enough damage to secure the kill on either one of them in conjunction with this Olaf.
Yeah, nice a lot of damage coming out. Not quite enough to secure any kills. I was looking at the beginning of the gank. It was looking to be pretty favored in the side of Verdant Monkeys just because Fruge had based and Wally hadn't, and Fruge was sitting on that pickaxe. But Monkey went in pretty early without knowing that Wally was there, and therefore they were able to get the trade back. Fruge actually going ahead and picking up
Fruge crucially
probably for free.
Yeah, is able to know that the enemy jungler's health bars are so low, forced to be reset. Gets dragged. First drag, not the biggest loss, as Bird is getting pretty pushed in.
That's an incredibly early drag. Oh, Monkey.
Ooh, Monkey here is here for the counter gank. Altek mid going for the dive, but Bird is actually still under tower. Altek might be still looking for this, actually level 5 to level 6, as he is getting minion block and gets the solo kill over onto Bird.
He's gonna
Bird
live
so
too.
Much for that, and he lives. Bird walking back into the edge shadow and gets solo killed. Wow.
Super well played from Ultimate Mid there. I'd say it was really well played from Monkey too. Like we saw him just kind of hanging out. He knew he was gonna get dove there. Well played for Monkey to be there, but Mid just outplaying a little more.
Yeah, 2 quick kills going for the Kangaroo Corral. Just early outplays in favor of them. And Speedy Bandito just farming up a storm down here in Toasty TG by himself for a little while as the wave is in favor of the Kangaroo Corral bot lane. Meanwhile, we see junglers now top side contesting each other. Olaf doing up his own Krugs, and a little bit of an invade from the Trundle.
Yeah, both junglers on the top side here. Darius a little bit low, Lyle completely out of mana though. Fruge
nice
on a
ward.
ward.
Wait, does Fruge have any idea that this ward is here? As Wally's just going to steal this red buff from under his nose. Oh
yeah,
my
there's
goodness.
No way he knows that.
What a ping from Lyle. Oh my god. Lyle is smurfing. That was
Fruge,
so good.
Fruge didn't so Fruge didn't get there in time to see that the camp was still being taken. Fruge never knew he was there. He just thought it was already gone. He just passed straight through.
What the heck just happened? Oh no, and out Warp evening up a little bit down here. James is walking forward, perhaps gonna get turned. Knows some Speedy Bandito loving both of them himself. Monkey has the ignite but no flash himself, as CS numbers are once again in favor of Kangaroo Corral.
Yeah, aside from well, I gotta say, I think between the top and jungle difference,
Ooh,
actually,
Fruge is
Fruge.
here returning. Level 6, and there's this, the Jin ultimate. Speedy Bandito kind of walking in an awkward direction, looking for the dodge. Might be forced to get back out. He's forced to flash out himself. Perhaps didn't have the caliber net there. Still had the cleanse, but didn't want to risk it at all.
Yeah, good attempt there. We'll get the flash out, but it's not
Ooh,
quite
Bird walking
enough.
back into it, gets the electrocute proc. I'll take mid. Does have the ultimate, opts not to go for it because he doesn't have the right.
Yeah, also had no cooldowns left after he already used his EQ for that full combo. We'll stop. Oh,
Doesn't quite get the shuriken, and there's
never
the
mind.
angry bee. Very, very sad boy in the middle lane. Does have that serrated Dirk. Up 5 kills. Oops, 5 kills. Up 5 CS plus a kill. He is extremely fed on the stead.
Yeah, Verd vitally being able to pick up, even though he did die early, being able to pick up that Seeker's Arm Guard early on will be very important for him to have that armor. Otherwise,
Yeah, they really need to make sure they stabilize this mid lane, or else they're going to be in big trouble. There's another little bit of gold influx for I'll take mid. Plate gold. It's so hard to gain for Olaf and for Lux.
Yeah, and Wally was able to, on his first base, pick up that a Tiamat.
Here's
So
the
despite
return
the early...
gank. Oh, look who's here. Wally Warp on a counter gank. Definitely not warded up in the tri-bush. Called off by Fruge. Does have the ghost, does have the ultimate. Opts not to go for it, but now Wally Warp
seen on a
show
ward.
on this nice ward from Verdant Monkey's bot lane.
Yeah, Fruge actually sees that he's on this ward, and is looking in his jungle. Little will he'll be disappointed to know that it's all already gone.
Yeah, at the same time, Bird just ulting the wave off of cooldown, just wants to make sure he keeps it pushed out. I kind of think that as well. There's the Monkey going over onto Champ. Champio's not taking a whole lot of damage, and now gets actually get a tether onto Monkey as well. Speedy Bandito does crack the trap down, and he's able to heal and get back out. But Lawwell on the TP is forcing the flash out of those two Toasty, and actually unstoppable from the jungler of Fruge. Now they're going to be able to secure a little bit of a help on the backside. It's a 4v3 now. I'll take mid on a roam. Pokemon Panda flashing forward, gets 5 stacks and the full stack over as we see a little bit of a freeze. And Karma Shield is able to save Lawwell for a little bit, but Tokeman is able to get the X2. As Altic is getting very, very low himself, is going to take it out to the Darius passive. No, Monkey's going to be helping secure. Champion is getting dove up by Fruge, but Wally Warp is finally here attending the party. Champ is getting very, very low, but Wally Warp with 2 damage is getting the kill onto Fruge. It is a 2 for 2 in a very extended fight, but Bird here on a roam. Jenkins is basically not a human at this point, but they're able to secure some plate gold and a little bit of a deny as Bird just misses the binding. I don't know if they're going to be able to do anything, but wow, what a crazy, crazy disjointed fight. It's a 2 for 2 with a little bit of plate gold.
Crazy fight, both TPs coming in, both mid laners eventually roaming down. In the end, I think that was in favor of the Verdant Monkeys.
I think so as well.
Lyle went down.
Shut down onto I'll take mid as well.
Yeah, Lyle and mid both went down. I think Speedy might have gone down as well there. Could have been even more in their favor if Fruge hadn't gone for that rather ambitious dive, but still a very happy play for them.
Yeah, exactly. Toki did a lot of damage there. Got his full stacks up onto the Gwen. Was able to get the kill on the Gwen and then turn immediately over onto the Zed and do so much damage. Meanwhile, Volley Warp's looking for a contest here as they're kind of getting pinched from all sides. Fruge pops the ult, leaves him quite low. And he's not going to be able to live for much longer as Toasty secures the kill as his team does the rest on the other side of this, filling up the jungler. Both junglers are dead. Speedy Bandito and Altic hit around the side while Gwen is pushing the top. The college is going to give up this drag. Nice little ward. They do have vision on this. It's not being disabled by that pink ward, but Gwen is just going to be able to get some free farm up here in the top lane, and they're just going to say, you know, you can have this strategy.
Yeah, Toki went ahead and headed straight down to that dragon, whereas Lyle went up to top lane. So definitely, I don't know whether I'd say worth or not. I mean, Lyle's definitely very happy to be getting this free gold on the top lane. I believe he had to
might be a little bit of kind of a weird position. Pokemon walking forward, gets queued up.
Pulls him at the tower.
Doesn't actually use any cooldown to be able to block abilities, but Pokemon Panda walking forward does get the full stacks onto a Lao wall. It's getting very, very low on mana and is just going to get solo killed in this situation. Pops the ult and it's not enough to turn the fight.
Yeah, Lyle,
Pokemon Panda.
Lyle got caught getting a little greedy for that plate. and was pulled back into tower, but was actually got out and was fine, but he kind of turned around to attack the minions with 4 stacks on him. Toki just managed to walk up and kill him.
Yeah, the Lao Walt dishing out Happy Meals up here in the top lane. Pokemon meanwhile dishing out damage. Now Jamcub's walking forward, almost gets Q-binded up by Bird as he goes for the P4 taking Wally's coming a little pinched on as Eli is going to help him, but Rouget looking to finish up himself. Tokemon Panda gets ulted up by the Zed, but he takes almost no damage, but there's the electric damage. Heals up a ton, but he's in the middle of these shadows. At the same time, Wally flashes over the wall. Wildtakeman executes onto this Darius, but he is going to get killed himself by the Leona, the Lux ult, and there's Leona here to help. Now Lawawall is in quite an awkward position. He's able to blast cone out of it. Leona is still on the follow-up, has already used Ignite, but Bird is able to secure the kill with the auto passive pop. Excellent job for the Verdant Monkeys. Complete role reversal from last game.
Yeah, wow. Wally barely being able to get out there on the backside of that and gets a recall off, but in the end, where did that Herald go? Herald definitely went down. Can we see? Okay, yeah, Fruge did pick it up. That is. So yeah, in the end, between taking Herald and getting a couple kills in overall, that's a massive. Actually, the Herald's going to go down right now, just immediately on his mid tower for gold.
It's mid here as well. Speedy Bandito walking backward, but he's not going to be able to get it before the plates. Oh no, they miss out on all this plate gold. Go for it pretty quickly, but oh no, don't get any money from it.
Yeah, a little bit of a misplay there. They went for the the blue buff instead of taking the time to make sure that Herald got some plates. So blue buff for 320 gold. You're calling what's worth.
Yeah, ultimately it is nice that they got it though. Kangaroo Corral kind of burger flip the Rift Herald, lose it. I'll take mid is able to kill up Pokemon Panda, burns his own flash, but he kind of is flashing against the wall. Bird with an excellent ult on the backside is able to lurks here in the top lane, gets pulled back in, bone plating gets popped, he does dodge out that Q in the players now. Well, here's Wally Boucher quickly behind to support him. Pokemon Panda not getting any lifesteal and just actually gets solo killed basically from Lyle Wall, doesn't really land any of his Q blade procs onto Lyle Wall and just dies. Rouget is a little bit behind Wally, but his help is not there to be helped.
Hey, it's not a solo kill because Wally slowed him with that build.
True enough. Meanwhile, it is 3 up here as Eli is on the row. Monkey is here on the support as well. Toasty playing himself down in the complete. Meanwhile, Bird pushing up here in mid. They're going to be losing a little bit of wave there for really nothing in exchange.
Yeah, this is once again a crazy action-packed game. I mean, gold is dead even. Verdant Monkeys are honestly still pretty happy though. I mean, Zed is strong with the 3 kills and a lot of farm, but they do have that double drag in their favor. And actually, do we know what soul this is? Could we check the pit real quick? It looks like it would be a Mountain Soul.
Yeah, it looks like, it is Mountain Soul, yeah.
So, I mean, Mountain Soul's still good, maybe not quite as good as Infernal, but I mean, they'll be happy to have the Mountain Soul in that 3 beefy frontliners.
Jhin with Infernal, so that would have been pretty juicy.
Yeah,
or
absolutely.
conversely, you think Gwen or you think Zed with Mountain Soul as well. Also
right.
Scary.
I would say Mountain Soul doesn't do a ton for the squishies, but the shield is pretty nice for Toasty and Bird, maybe saving them from some burst from Zed or Lyle here. This, of course, assuming that they get the soul coming up. Actually, Drag is coming up in 20 seconds here with a lot of, I'm just going to say, a severe lack of people around it.
Yeah, exactly. It is going to be that 3rd dragon, so pretty crucial dragon, as finally King Corral starting to reach on it. Jay a little bit late to the party here, just walking out of base right now with Toasty. Bird actually might be in kind of a rough spot. He doesn't have flash actually available to him. He is definitely going to be looking very, very rough as the Zed ult comes through and just secures the shutdown over onto Bird, clearing that pink ward without any support. Definitely out of position.
I think they need to just give this drag. Toki base, and it looked like he maybe wants to come down for this. I would have called just defend mid and keep Toki top lane and take that tower. They're still going to look
for it. Toasty ulting over top. Dragons get out health. Flywall is here in advance though. Tokemon it's a 3v5. They're just by himself, and now Jay is going to be in definitely a rough spot. They're just going to lose. Oh, does he get it?
He got it. He got it.
Oh my goodness, he got it. Okay, so it ends up being worth it. They trade for Jay's life, and it looks to be Monkey's life. I'm not sure it's worth it. It does put him on soul point. Monkey getting quite low, and there's the Caitlyn ult. Not quite securing it, but the Ignite from Altec mid does do so. Still pretty questionable decision making, I think, for the Verdant Monkeys, but I guess it pays off.
Yeah, I guess I'm a little wrong. Toki getting a little ambitious for this tower
Yeah,
here.
no Zed ult
Get it.
just yet, but Zed ult walking forward. Is this going to be our first tower of the game? No!
Let's see. Can we see the HP on
tower?
that?
Yeah, can we? Yeah, I'm just really 8 HP. Oh man.
He sneezed on that
first
tower.
Towers
Collapse.
lives to live another day, I guess.
Oh, Toki is maybe in some trouble here.
Yeah, Toki walking forward. Now, here's the Mantra E coming through. Pokemon still has Flash available to him. Does have that Strike Breaker to get back out. The TP from Bird coming through to assist his top laner's positioning. They can make sure that they deter any sort of play being played here. Wow, Zed, by the way, is 5-2.
Yeah, Zed's very strong here. Still not the end of the world for the Verdant Monkeys, as they've got some kills on both of their carries, which is pretty important. But I mean, the big thing here is, despite the gold leaves after this tower are going to be relatively small. Yeah, just go up and smack it a little bit.
Just give it a bob. As there's the Rouge gank over on the top, actually apprehends inside the shield, is able to get a lot of damage over before the flash comes out. Loud Wall taking down a little bit, and there's that final Olaf able to secure it. No ultimate needed, just the flash from Pokemon Panda.
Yeah, it's a big gank there for Toki and Fruge. They should probably, especially with Monkey on that top side, be able to grab another tower now and actually get ahead in the towers, which should about equalize the gold lead. And after that, and maybe even this Herald, they're making a lot of plays on this top side of the map. After all this, they're going to have just a very objective lead between gold being relatively even and being on soul point.
Yeah, Monkey actually going for a slower player himself is able to stun up Jamkaz, and there's Toasty with the follow-up CC and Bird. And Rouge executing as Speedy actually solo kills the Darius. When did that happen? I didn't even see it around the side. Excellent scene from the AD carry. Nice little flash as now Wally Warp is forced to flash himself. As Wally Warp gets out, and they might just be looking to turn onto the Rift Herald as it despawns. There's Speedy around the side, putting down traps himself, doing a lot of damage as the full Storm, Kraken Slayer and the gosh, what's the name of that? Fleet Footwork rune is dealing quite a bit of damage. This might have to be the Speedy show as they go into the lake.
Yeah, I went ahead and double checked on the replay there for that solo kill. Darius was pretty much just severely outranged. Speedy was standing in that tri-brush, able to get a lot of damage off before Darius even got close, and then Speedy flashed inside of the Darius Q to not get a heal off, and does get a solid solo kill onto him. And actually a very good response from the Kangaroo Corral, because like I was saying, they were going to get objectives on the top side there, but they were able to shut that down, saving the turret and despawning the Herald before the other team could get it.
Yeah, despawns the Herald, ultimately trade 1-for-1 to lane for support. Ends up being quite good for them. Meanwhile, Lao, while just trying to get back into this game, is actually about even in gold with Pokemon Panda. Pokemon Panda looked really good in some of these fights, but has given up some unfortunate kills to the side of like Altec Bid, Wally, and Speedy. In addition to getting solo killed here, as Monkey is once again here in the top.
We'll put a BM from Toki there.
Yeah,
we're seeing across the board actually no more than like 5 CS. Like this is dead even farm across the board. So this is like I said last game. I mean, this is definitely anyone's game.
I think an interesting point we haven't brought up yet is just how much range to be able to follow up that Bird Monkeys have. You saw what happened to that Karma last fight. The Jin W, all of the Lux damage. So the Monkey can ult, he can engage when his team is like a full screen away, and it can be a good engage because his team is able to follow up that far.
Yeah, absolutely. And the range coming in from the Lux and the Jin and the Leona is definitely not something Gwen wants. Like as someone who plays Gwen a decent amount, Gwen does not like being against a lot of range, because you don't really want to have to use your W on a little cooldown like a Lux Q, but you're gonna have to if you're gonna get hit by it, and then the Leona can come down and just get blown up.
Yeah, Gwen wants to get in there.
Oh,
and
that's a
then
huge
press
catch.
WS. There's that nice little Lux Mining coming through as they are going to be able to catch out Gwen around the side. No, that is going to be Wally Warp as Gwen is dancing around the side. But now his W is dropped. He gets rooted up again, and it's a double kill for Toasty TG. The Kaylee Traps are waiting any further pursuit, but they're going to turn onto this dragon and look for their soul. Excellent.
Yeah, that's a
Bird.
huge pick. I'm not sure if they have some vision around it. I'm not sure if they knew they were in that bush or that was just a strong guess.
Coming through, helping them along. Speedy's looking for the steal yet again.
Yeah,
you are not touched this time around. You're not going to be able to get the steal as the final smite comes through for Fruge. Wow, nice look. A little bit of a Zed ult up here in the top lane. Actually, Prowler's Claws through the apprehend and gets the solo kill. Nice mechanical play for Altec mid. Actually, this might get canceled as the tower is not going to go down. Bird actually is able to secure it. A little bit of an ambitious TP, but not sure why he actually did that. Is able to secure the wave,
sure.
I guess. Kind of an interesting TP up there in the top lane, but solo kill. Nice mechanical play from Altec.
Yeah, I'm watching the replay back here. Oh, okay. So it was almost a pure guess from Verd. Lyle stepped out of the bush ever so briefly.
Yeah,
but it was basically
that's the current state of Lux, right? You just throw out abilities. Usually they do something.
It was basically a guess. I mean, that was very well played.
Speed is very sad right now. 90 caliber nets that. Cannon, headshot proc leaves it on 1 HP. We've all been there, buddy. Toasty TG now with the Mount Soul shield is actually looking not that squishy.
Yeah, I mean this is the exact story of kind of like what I was thinking was going to happen in the first game. I mean, or I guess what I touched on them grabbing that early dragon last game, preventing that 24-minute soul. Here we are actually before 24 minutes because Fruge took the dragon before 6 minutes. He actually took it at 5:40.
With the second item LDR, I'm not sure I agree with that necessarily. I think there's...
I'm going to say I definitely don't agree with it, considering the only armor on the other team right now is plated steel caps on Gwen and Trundle. There's not even armor on Trundle right now.
I mean, he's trying to preempt what's happening with this Trundle, but Monkey is a little bit caught out here. Frozen Main comes through and there's the filler. So that's slow, as well as the W from the Karma shields herself back out. But the nice little solar eclipse as his team is coming to support. Monkey is getting very, very low as Altec flashes back out. Does have the Shatter to go back to. Does actually take the Gale Force forward from TCG. Is able to secure the kill, but it is actually a 4v3 right now as Virtus around the side getting kind of CC'd up and Fruge getting very, very low, lands a nice view over onto Speedy Bandito, but gets cleansed out of it and is actually 2 for 0 for the Kangaroo Corral.
Yeah, an excellent pick there from Bird onto Speedy, but Speedy wisely taking the cleanse in this game is able to use it to get out of that pick. Oh, Toki almost finding him.
Apprehend doesn't win.
Yeah, it looked very back and forth here, because first Monkey looked caught, and then Monkey just wasn't dying, and his team showed up, but in the end, with some low HP bars, mid able to feint his feet a little bit around on that Zed, just barely not going down to Toasty's combination of the Gale Force and the Dark Harvest proc.
And the heal from Jamcubs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I wanted to ask you this. Can you E-flash on Darius?
No, you cannot.
No, okay.
Nope.
Just out of curiosity. Okay, fair enough. Because I was imagining a world where Toki Striper E-flashes and gets like a 3-man there because they're kind of bunched up, but...
Yeah, unfortunately not. It would be a fun interaction, but you cannot.
Yeah, World Reminder
do stuff during the queue,
or the K,
but you cannot Strikebreaker or flash during the... Yeah, I mean...
like this. I don't know if you finish the World Reminder here, but... You have the Olaf, there's Darius, you know, it's not, you need healing reduction at some point.
Yeah, I think the Mortal Miranda finish is pretty important. Like, if you're going to be free firing on this Darius and Olaf between the Gore Drinker as well and just the natural healing in Olaf's kit.
Fruge's kind of in there. He does get W'd up by the Karma, but the root comes through, doesn't even break Mountain Shield as the pillar is there as well. So we're just going to walk forward and clear out this vision. Bird, meanwhile, clearing in the middle lane. Speed Bandito is on vision. Has no cleanse available to him as Monkey's going to go for it. Doesn't land the Zenith Blade as Verd also sends his Q a little bit wide.
Yeah, that's close stuff. Ooh, Lyle's got to be careful. He's under tower.
Trading up with this Pokemon Panda. Darius, as he does land the Q onto the blade, but he is doing so much damage. Flashes out of that final ult proc. As the actual final ult proc goes through and actually solo kills Pokemon Panda while under the turret. Doesn't tick down this nice deal of damage. This champion is not balanced.
Yeah, I
My
gotta
goodness.
say, well, I gotta say, Toki, I don't think actually played that poorly in terms of. Oh,
Actually,
Toasty
Toasty going forward
looking for the
himself, yeah,
kill.
looking for the kill. Actually flashes
Oh,
over the wall as Lyle's gonna
what?
flash. Back into Toasty, go for the fat outplay, but it is not a bad outplay because it's a fat outplaying himself. As it's a 4v3 around Baron for Jaywalking forward, chucking Axe's Monkey here with that Mountain Shield, looking mighty, mighty tanky. But Bird is also here in between his jungle and support, and they're going to be able to trade any sort of air.
I can only assume that
Oh,
that
they might be looking
flash.
for themselves.
Yeah, there's no vision now in return. They don't see that they've started this up. And
Yeah, unfortunately,
Wally's,
their Baron take is really slow. I mean, it's Jinlocks.
they just
really
don't know
They
though.
have no idea.
And with Lyle being down, I mean, they can't even necessarily. Maybe they do know, and they just think we can't take this 4v5.
Yeah, they know now. And unfortunately, because this Baron take is so slow, they might be able to make a little bit of the must happen. They're funneling through this choke. There's the Karma Mantra E coming through. Token Panda actually misses the Striper E yet again. Flashing forward, but Renzi does beat the Baron as Toasty is quite low, but they're going to be able to get a kill onto I'll take mid.
Yeah, mid able to get onto
good.
a priority target there, but is just blown up because he cannot immediately kill Toasty, and all the damage is turned onto him as he's the only person in there. I was gonna say just about that top lane fight. I don't think Pokemon actually played the fight wrong in any way. I think he played it rather reasonably, and even flashed one of the ult procs. The problem is that he's just straight up behind in items. I mean, he didn't have the stair X at the time. He was just down an item.
Yeah, now it is actually an Elder Drake because the Soul came through so early and they're dancing around this. They do have the Baron on them, and they don't take it extremely fast, but Kate's already put down a lot of traps. They do have the blue ward as well. Monkey takes the blast gun over the wall. Now Wally's going to flash and he wants to do anything about this. Mantra coming through. Elder's already starting to get about half health. Rouge is just kind of chunking it. Meanwhile, they have a lot of ways of getting around it. And there's the Elder Dragon actually being taken. They can definitely not take a fight now. Toast's going to ult to try and slow him down and get a little bit of a take. As actually Bird doing about half of Jamco's health, plus the Elder Bird is not going to be able to get him into execute range. But
that was huge damage. Elder and Baron on the side of the Verdant Monkeys right now. They're going to, unless they just botch this fight completely, they are going to be getting a lot off this play.
They can literally just stat check them at this point up to about 3k gold, and plus Elder and Baron, they just have so many raw stats over on the enemy team. They're going to force down one turret, possibly two. That headshot crit, Stridebreaker into the wall, poking, not quite doing anything. There's an
look
flash.
At between the left shield and the mountain shield, I mean, Caitlyn Q's, Karma Q's are coming through and just not even breaking these shields barely. I mean, just now is the first time we've seen someone on their team get below full HP.
Yeah. Ooh, the Stridebreaker forward, once again missing it from Tokima Panda. That's okay though. We still love you. I want to point out some kind of builds actually. The Putrefier actually being built up by the Karma, kind of nullifying this Mortal Reminder. Kind of unfortunate. But actually a heads up play from I'll Take Mid. Going to Serpent's Fang against Mountain Soul, plus Lux, plus Locket. I think that's actually a great pickup from I'll Take Mid.
Yeah, in terms of build, I'd also like to see Wally going significantly less damage than he is right now, just because you've got so much damage already from Lyle and mid. He doesn't even have the Sterix yet. I would have liked to have seen just a full tank Trundle here, I think.
Yeah, I kind of agree as well. Wally Warp not really been able to do a whole lot kind of outside of the early game. Had some really good counter ganks, but this Trundle hasn't looked like he's been able to really do anything as the Elder buff is starting to get a little bit low, but they might be able to force another time the backside of
Lyle currently forced to be the person to deal with that mid lane wave right now.
Ooh, there's the ultimate, but the cleanse comes through Speedy nice.
Yeah, solid cleanse.
The play is a little bit short as a result. Now Lyle looking to join his team, but Rouge walking forward at the Baron.
Yeah, and with as few towers were taken in the early game as there was a 3k gold lead with no towers down. Now with having taken I think just 4 towers right now, they're looking at a almost 5k gold lead. And there's still a top outer and even top inner.
Ooh, they're going to Shirley's forward looking for Tokima Panda and Toasty TG, but they actually are dissuaded by the Jin Trap and walk back around toward mid lane. Actually have not even forced down this mid tier 1 yet.
I mean, I think Red Side definitely has to just give this, unless they're going to burn
a
the
little bit of a... Alright, Toki. So one of these days you will land it, I promise. As Monkey is here on a flank. Not quite able to make anything happen here. As Zed is around the side, looking at the Olaf with the Scryer's Orb. But wow, that Lux Volt is about halfway to being back up yet again.
Yeah, very short cooldown there. I gotta say, as Red Side right now, I think you just hard reset as a team and then just shove down top lane and grab those 2 extra turrets, I mean, you're going to be looking at a very, very healthy gold lead at that point in time. Frush will be picking up this outer for free as it's basically 1 HP right now.
Yeah, has that 3rd item GA too, so he's looking quite beefy. Meanwhile, Verd, I almost called his actual name on the screen. Verd building towards that death cap. Toasty Deathless on the Jhin has 3 items. That final IE being picked up, a little bit of crit multiplier for him as they are pushing down objective after objective.
Yeah, I mean,
Lord... wow. He's walking forward now. Wally Warp getting a little bit of a chunk, but Toasty TG lands his initial auto crit onto Wally, does quite a bit of damage. Meanwhile, Monkey on a flank.
Not too much happening in the end there.
Yeah.
Loki did have TP up there, so no real fights to be had.
Yeah, Gwen still on clearing out base duty. Has played pretty decently, but hasn't quite had the game in that.
Gwen consistently clearing these mid lanes though, or mid waves though, is getting a lot of gold. Is not quite most farm in the game, but is sitting on 3 items.
Ooh. Kind of a 4-man here around in the top side. Toki pushing on the bot. Lux Q just a tiny bit short. There's the Frozen Domain going down. Speedy Bandito is here to help his clear this out. And just getting a little bit of damage on the turret, but it's not going to be a whole lot. Now Lyle is here joining the team. He is on Vision, as actually Verdant Monkeys might be in a little bit of an awkward spot. Not quite. Lyle running forward with that Karma Shield. There's the Shurelya's. Lyle actually going over the wall straight into a Lux binding, but Monkey turns around and is able to CC him up with that. Gwen is a balanced champion as they're going to force the engage here. As
Toasty's down.
Is going to be going over onto Speedy Bandito. Toasty goes down, gets the shut down to Speedy Bandito. It's just getting run up by the top jungler with no heal or help from his actual team. Rouget is going to be able to execute over onto Eli now. Bird is here to help support his laners, but they might be looking a little bit too low as Lyle is running over the speed fight as the Zanyas and the GAs are going to be doing enough damage because he's going to get killed for the ace. Oh my goodness, it's just the Zanya's difference.
That is going to be game.
Gwen isn't imbalanced enough to carry it. It is going to be game. Bird TP in, but no mana, but he's going to be looking to push this down. Oh no,
initially
really good. Then turned really good.
Yeah, the fight initially looking really good, finding the pick onto the bot lane, but unfortunately between Frush, I didn't even see how exactly he ended up behind that whole fight, but Pokemon having an excellent ward to DP2 there, able to find Speedy. Darius gets the reset, is able to apply that 5-stack passive to most of the team. Isn't quite getting the ult resets and killing on repeat, but I mean, I agree. I will say I agree with what he did there at that ulti. I mean, I assume he knew that that wasn't going to kill Trundle, but at that point when you're getting really low, sometimes you just want to get that 1,000+ true damage off before you die, if you think you might die. But obviously in the end that works out really well, considering they won the game off that play. So yeah, well played to the Verdant Monkeys. They're definitely looking. I think
let's see. I think the Kangaroo. By the way.
Yeah, also, I think.
Sorry,
I just want to say I think the Kangaroo Corral definitely put up a better fight in the early game. But on the flip side, I think the Verdant Monkeys held their lead better this game around. So, well played.
Well, also that last fight, poor Speedy, just getting so he got TP flanked by the Darius. He just got run down by the Olaf and the Darius and had no chance of playing that fight. Well, meanwhile, the rest of his team's kind of just running at it.
Yeah, Speedy got absolutely ADC in 2021.
Yeah, absolutely. And poor guy. But like you said, Kangaroo Corral looking fairly decent in the early game, but kind of fell a little bit flat kind of as we went with mid-late. Maybe Zed isn't quite the ticket for them.
Yeah, I think I gotta say I think the Zed pick is solid, and I think mid played it really well. I would like to see a comp that supports it a little better, because there is absolutely no one else. I mean, Zed is entirely on his own to jump into the fight there. There's actually nothing that can be offered on that team aside from maybe a Karma Shield.
In fairness, Gwen almost 200 years the enemy team. If it were not for the stopwatches plus the GA, I think Gwen actually wins that fight.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anything crazy turns out of that. I mean, I think they had just end up running, and it's like a 3-for-3 or something. But yeah, even so, I mean, the Gwen. I don't have a problem necessarily with the Gwen. I would have liked to see Wally build more tank or just play a tank in that comp, because you got plenty of damage from Lyle and mid. So.
Absolutely, and that is actually going to even up the series. Play those silver scripts, because once again we are going to a game 3 between Kangaroo Corral and Verdant Monkeys. Verdant Monkeys clearly doing a good job of bouncing back from that game 1.
Yeah, get the
I
silver
wonder what kind of
scrapes in
draft
here.
adaptations. Yeah, let's see. Let's go into a quick break and then we'll see you in a bit. right, welcome back everyone to a Game 3 matchup between the Verdant Monkeys and the Kangaroo Corral. Kangaroo Corral with a sub took Game 1, but Verdant Monkeys quickly responded with a pretty dominant Game 2. Looked quite good down the stretch. We saw some draft adjustments, we saw some spicy picks, some spicy plays. Who knows what's going to happen in Game 3. I am AI Box, joined by the baddest top laner this side of the Mississippi and potentially even the other side as well. Bloodbath and Beyond. Bloodbath and Beyond. We got a crazy series.
Yeah, I'm excited honestly to see this game going into it, or see the series going into a game 3. I mean, we've been getting some big. I think both teams are fighting real hard to win this series. I mean,
Yeah.
we're seeing a lot of plays coming out, a lot of crazy fights, a lot of kills. It's definitely an exciting series to cast. So glad to be here for game 3.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I feel like I have casted a disproportionate number of Game 3s in TCL. I feel like every time it's a Game 3, it's me casting. But
Yeah, you've just been on the right spot. I mean, there's been quite a few 2-0s this season, maybe even more so than last season. But yeah, there's.
hey, happy to be here. It's always a good time, and it's always hype when two teams really just are slugging back and forth, like you said.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be getting into the champ select here pretty soon. But in the meantime, what are your thoughts going into this game 3? And seeing any possible draft strategy changes, or what do you think is going to happen?
You know, I really liked mid on the Zed. He looked really good. Was actually making a lot of plays really early mid. But I think they need him on someone that can be that consistent. You look at what they were really successful on. He was kind of playing with Lyle while he was able to drop his entire burst, retreat, and then do it again in game 1. I want to see them giving him a champ that he can do that again instead of on the Zed where he's kind of dropping everything along the way.
Right. I kind of like being on those control mages. And possibly I like Wally on that kind of front line, kind of just positioning in front of mid, put Lyle on a champ that he can kind of do his own thing. I think that works out pretty well for their team.
Yeah, we'll see if they ban out the Ezreal this time. Maybe just since they are on that red side again. But if they are able to beat Speedy this Ezreal, I wonder if that's kind of the ticket for, because they're really not playing bot side that hard. And Speedy really hasn't had much of a chance to play some of these games.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect to see Ezreal get through. I mean, it's been banned on red side both games, and we're all aware by this point of what a crazy champ he is right now. Ezreal, of course, since the beginning of League of Legends, is one of those champs that's either really strong or really bad. So
yeah, and that's kind of one of the curses of TCL as well. Like we remember last season when he wasn't in meta, and still he was being picked all the time in TCL.
Yeah,
it's just a huge comfort thing now that it is meta.
Yeah, and it's so safe and easy to farm, etc., etc. Exact same 4 bans as we've seen in both games.
These last bans are really going to tell the story
as a Camille
ban. Some respect.
I think that's fair. I think Lyle's got a solid Camille. I think Camille's a solid champion. Not surprised to see the Ezreal ban. Yeah, absolutely.
Don't want to give it over to Toasty. Very safe pick. Just dish out the deeps. Not afraid of the Gwen though. Crucially, we saw what the Gwen was able to do kind of near the end, but if they played Vision, which they were able to do for most of the mid game last game, did a great job of neutralizing.
Yeah, and actually, notably, Champ Cubs will not be on that Karma pick again this game. It has been picked away. Most likely.
I didn't even realize. Yeah, I just assumed.
Yeah, most likely there for Monkey. Interesting. We'll be getting a little shake up this game. No Leona for Monkey. No Karma for Jam Cubs.
Yeah, crucially. And also this Karma is a little bit of a flex pick as well. You never know what's going to go. Lulu, actually. All right.
The Lulu. Spirit of Fate on production is just jumped up in his chair in excitement.
Yeah, exactly. Like the 400k mastery Lulu man himself. Actually hasn't played it a whole lot of late, more of the Janna favor, but still quite proficient on the champion. And Jamkibs has played quite a bit of Lulu in France, so would assume that he knows what he's doing as well, helping out his team.
Absolutely. Xin Zhao pickup for Wally, not a big surprise there. That's been something we've seen him play a few times.
This is interesting. So they've gone support jungle, I think, every single time in draft, and it's been a different jungler every time. Is it just Wally is having a little bit of, ADD and just doesn't want to be picking the same jungler, even though he's blind picking every time? Is he just bored? Does he want to play something else? Why? We've seen like 3 different junglers now, kind of with no real
I'm not sure.
To it.
If I had to guess, I'd say the Rek'Sai was maybe trying a little something, and maybe they felt it didn't work as well as they wanted. One thing would be that the Ziggs went through for for Verd.
Crucial. That's huge.
Pretty big for them. The Jin pickup for Toasty as well.
Yeah.
I think game 2 maybe the Trundle pick was seen that there was a solid team to pick it into. Whereas if you want to pick jungle here, you don't see the tanks yet for Trundle, and I think maybe the Zen is just falling back onto the comfort for Wally. The Silas.
Ooh, the Silas. Some pretty okay ults. I mean, Ziggs isn't bad. Jin's not bad.
Yeah,
So
nothing
far,
crazy,
but
nothing bad though.
yeah, exactly, and definitely comfort at least.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll actually be seeing what is this? Jungle Pop for Birds Monkeys, and then top and AD.
I promise.
Yeah.
Kangaroo Corral.
I wanna
Banning
touch
away
on-
that Olaf, which actually surprises me a little bit. I think Fruge has some way more influential picks than that Olaf
agree.
pick.
I think it was tough for Speedy to deal with. They want to at least give Speedy a chance to play the game.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the thought behind it.
I think the Olaf is also pretty solid into things like the Xin Zhao and the Lulu.
Right. Yeah. I want to touch on the fact that since Kangaroo Corral, or excuse me, Verdant Monkeys is now blue side again, they are able to pick up that Ziggs because the Ezreal ban was forced on the red side. Otherwise, they would first pick it. So I almost
Right.
wonder if it would have made more sense to actually ban out the Ziggs and then just give up the Ezreal first pick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, it depends on which champ you think is stronger in the meta right now. I'd have to argue I think Ezreal's a little scarier.
I agree,
you know.
but you kind of talk about the kind of game impact that Ziggs is able to have.
Yeah, absolutely. Mordekaiser ban coming out for against Lyle here. I think that's been possibly all 3 games. Maybe not last game. I think Gwen was picked up first rotation, but really not wanting to see that Mordekaiser. Notably, Tokimon's Gnar is up.
What about something like the Garen here? Actually, like I unironically think this could be like a Garen game. Obviously, you don't know the top matchup, but like if Lyle takes the Garen, I don't hate it.
I would have to disagree purely because when you're playing Garen, you kind of are Cog Lulu. My goodness.
Yeah, classic.
If you're playing Garen, you kind of have to feel it like, oh, it's locked in. We have the Cog Lulu for Speedy.
Pretty
Very
solid.
interesting. So I'd have to feel the Garen is kind of like the Darius a little bit, and that you don't want to be running into a lot of peeling, such as Karma, Ziggs, and maybe even Jin to a degree. So I don't think the Garen's the worst pick, but it would be a little tough for him to get into that team.
Sure. I can
But
definitely see that as well.
He does have the counter pick, so
Lee Sin for Fruge, yeah, as well, yeah. Yeah, like you said, they are picking top last. The Cog Lulu coming through. Actually, pretty decent lane into the Jin. You just kind of shield up, press W on the Cog, and because you don't have to save polymorph for anything, Cog is crazy. I think actually kind of like the Cog block in here, and it gives them a very solid way of playing into that. Especially as the downside is going to be able to get in there.
I'm really surprised. Honestly,
Truly.
I'm really surprised he favored the Poppy over the Gnar.
Yeah.
I do think the
they're kind
Poppy
of
pick.
trying to bait out the number.
Yeah, the Poppy pick is definitely solid against Zen and Silas. You definitely have some good abilities to be blocking with that W.
Exactly, yeah.
Set.
Ooh, actually takes the set here. Actually, it's not a bad idea. Obviously, you can hold the Poppy back away into his team. Poppy's going to be wanting to stand in front of them anyway, so I think that makes some sense.
Yeah, I'm. It's interesting. I was surprised the first game. I didn't really say this. Obviously, the Camille went really well for them and kind of carried them into that game. But I was surprised in the first game that he didn't go set because we had already seen Cho'Gath picked up for Toki. Which, as most people know, that is a very nice matchup for set. The lane isn't insane for set, but you're smacking a 7,000
Huge
HP
champ,
Cho'Gath onto their team when you have max HP damage on that ulti. Poppy kind of functions similarly. I mean, it's another tank just to throw into the enemy team. I do like the set pick here. I think set's also an excellent front line for the Cog Lulu. You have really good... Set has surprisingly good disengage for the rest of his team. So, yeah,
What I really
actually really like Kangaroo Corral's comp here.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I think Kaglu's obviously quite strong. I also like their ability to deny these Sin's playmaking going into mid-late game. Xin Zhao can ult, Set can, CC up, Lulu can do her thing versus this Lee Sin. It's very tough for Fruge to make plays kind of moving in as the game kind of starts to drag.
Right.
So I think they're a little bit more early game focused, try and get him through a little bit of a power trough as Zig starts to come up.
Yeah, and I think the one downside I am noticing on Kangaroo Krell's comp here is if they are falling behind, which you are a little bit liable to do so with Cog Lulu, just due to the nature of the lane and the champions. They're really lacking wave clear right now with
Sure.
Sylas mid lane, so it could be a little hard if they are getting behind to deal with some of the siege potential, especially with the amount of poke coming through on the other team between
Yeah.
obviously Ziggs and Karma, but even Jin and Lee Sin a little bit.
Yeah.
Could be
It's
difficult to
kind of tough
defend a
to
siege.
force. Yeah, it's tough to force on Ziggs. It's tough to force on, like you said.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I think this will be obviously Koglulu is a focal point in any game to watch,
Not a
see
doubt.
what happens there. But I think this midline matchup is also super important. I
Yeah,
mean,
I
if mid doesn't get strong on the Sylas, I think the Ziggs pick is just going to be far more useful going into this later stages of the game.
agree. The Silas doesn't really have like amazing stuff to steal. I guess he can steal Poppy ult for like certain situations. I think, like
Yeah,
you said, Silas really needs to be making something happen.
the Lee Sin ult could be pretty nice for some playmaking potential with you possibly kick.
Actually, you're gonna be hilarious since like you just double max HP, then you have set ult the Poppy back, and then you
Yeah,
Silas go in and then kick the Poppy into the enemy team. That'd be
right.
hilarious if we actually see that happen. So just max
That would be
HP value
funny.
damage.
I will say Silas, there's one thing that's really nice about Silas with this comp is you can steal a Karma Mantra E for your Cog Lulu,
Yes, yeah. Plus like
which is pretty
Shrelia's plus
terrifying.
Lulu speed up. Yeah, it's really not bad. You're
Pretty
right.
terrifying to have
Um,
a Silas set Zen running at you with a massive shield.
or Kog'Maw, honestly.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
idea of Kog'Maw running at you is also terrifying, especially if there's no real way of like punishing this Kog'Maw for doing that.
yeah.
Um,
So like I said, I'm really liking the team comp from the Kangaroo Corral, but in the end, I mean, we've seen how these games have gone. Like Verdant Monkey's consistently getting early game leads, so wouldn't be surprised if that happens again, especially due to what they've picked on the Kangaroo Corral. Although Zen is a very solid early game jungler,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised to see them on their
I'm
back
really
foot this
excited
game.
to see this Frigé lead Sin as well, but
Yeah,
mostly I'm excited to see what skins they're using. So we're about to hop into the game. Loading screen. I'm really curious to see which team actually has the skin buff. We already know which team has the Mama Knowles buff, but I think this one
of
is
course.
almost as important.
I was watching back our games last week, and there was a very brief moment where I looked at chat and I was like, "Why is Mama Knowles cheering against us?" And I was like, "Oh, wait, right, Toasty is on their team."
Yeah,
I
that
felt
makes
a
a
little
whole lot
dumb
of
at that
sense.
moment.
Yeah, I didn't quite catch it. We had a nice quick loading screen there. No potatoes around these parts. 5 skins for the Verdant Monkeys plus the Korean Lee Sin. Really nice Jin skin and some pretty good options. Meanwhile, can we get a quick pan over onto the other side? Getting a little bit of a skin count here. Nice little bird's eye view. Pretty solid overall. Gotta say,
Pretty
it's a
sure
pretty
Lyle has a skin
even.
for most of his champs, so it's got to be
Yeah,
5.
and I'll take mid. Does have the new sky. Let's call it a wash. It's tough.
Oh,
Oh no!
he
Oh,
doesn't.
that's the difference maker. Oh no! All
I'm
right, we
shocked.
don't even have to play this one out. Spirit, take us out. Game is already over.
Actually, maybe I
Oh
take
no,
it back. Maybe
Lyle.
Lyle doesn't have that many skins. I mean, he didn't have the Gwen one. Granted, there's only one. I don't
I
remember
will.
if he had a Kayle one or not.
If they somehow pull this game out, we'll have to ask Lyle how does it feel to lose in spite or to win in spite of his skin management. Oh
Right.
no.
How does it feel to be the only skinless champ in the game?
That does, yeah, that is true. It took him on with a little bit of spam here in the top lane, the whole walk in circles, showing off his pecs.
Yeah,
Doran's blitz starts in the bot lane.
we're gonna see jungler starting same side, which I don't know for sure whose clear is better. I think they should be fairly even. I think Lee Sin and Zen both clear jungle pretty effectively, so wouldn't be surprised if we're seeing a top lane scuttle fight right at level 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Although once again, Wally has been consistently
Look how shiny
not
Speedy's
full
booty
clearing.
is. Speedy has the shiniest booty in the West. Look at that thing.
Right. The Cogma booty.
Yeah.
There we go. Back into the
Get
game.
shinier. My goodness. Sorry,
So
what
yeah,
were you saying? I was
Well,
distracted.
I'm expecting. Oh, it's okay. I mean, we're paused. We can say whatever we want, right? No, I was just saying, Wally's been consistently clearing. Well, let me step back a little. Fruge has been consistently clearing his whole jungle. Wally's been consistently not. So I
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised if that same thing happens again.
Ooh, a
Wally
little bit of an
consistently
early
doing.
trade.
Oh, the Q misses.
Both skill shots missing from both mid laners, but Bird actually getting the better of that. The Corrupting Pot a little bit late from I'll take mid, as that actually trades at an HP deficit, but he does have the Corrupting Potion. Meanwhile,
Yeah,
bot lane Infants and Speedy trading themselves.
If that Q from Vert had landed, that would have been a very, very much lost trade. But
Yeah, I don't know about the Spelties actually on Lulu. I'm looking at this. I actually versus that, particularly a combo lane, just take the Guardian's item, and then that way you just know you're staying safe. As Lowell actually pulls Tokemon back in, landing a lot of max HP damage from that Q. Wow, great trade for Lowell. It's forcing Tokemon Panda back a little bit with that Corrupting Pot. Now it gets rooted up and clear in the bot lane. Jamco's taking a lot of damage. That's half his health from the Toasty and Monkey.
yeah, Toki hanging out a little too close to the wave there, considering he's down a level, but should be fine here as this wave's pushing back into him. Still has plenty of Corrupting Pot stacks, excuse me. Yeah, same thing from the jungle here. Wally has gone buff, ground buff every game, and Fruge has full cleared every game. Looks like we'll be seeing the same thing once again.
I love Vert getting into the memes, flashing that mastery, and I'll take it victorious for his spam, so I kind of like it.
I'll tell you what, Vert having been on my team last time.
Ooh, look at this invade.
Yeah, this is spicy.
Oh, actually mid lane, there's the ignite coming from I'll take mid, going in over onto Vert. Is it even getting able to get it? Oh, the pot just able
Vert
to
will be
save
fine.
his life. Actually still saving his flash as well. Wow. Vert with bombs of steel there, actually able to survive.
Yeah, they looked for a little bit of an invade there, but between the mid lane fight happening and Toki roaming down, looked like they didn't really want to take that, and we'll just be backing out. Wally actually should double scuttle
excellent
here.
roam. Yeah, excellent roam from Lyle, forcing that pressure into the jungle, just delaying it for a long time, but he's going to get his just desserts. His Fruge here in the top lane, actually flashing forward, but able to get the solo kill over on Tokemon Panda in response. As Tokemon Panda flashes back out, and Lyle doesn't quite secure it. It comes through and is able to save his top laner. Oh,
yeah, I gotta say,
goodness, what a play from Wally as at the same time, excuse me, from Lyle.
Oh, nothing.
Oh my goodness, I'm really struggling because Wally is actually in the bot lane looking for a gank himself after the double scuttle. We can't get a breath.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I saw that coming from Toki. It almost didn't work. Toki was very low there, but in the end, well played.
Yeah, Lyle is really sad here. That flash out knocking him against the wall, and Fruge with the last safeguard cooldown able to save his top lane.
Yeah, and from Lyle there, I think is maybe a little ambitious what he did. I mean, he obviously
played it pretty
wanted
well.
that. Well, he played it pretty well, but he obviously wanted the 2v1. I mean, he saw, he either had the worst awareness ever, or he saw the Lee Sin there and went ahead and just continued trading with Toki, almost taking him down. But I think it's a little too ambitious, because even though it was well played, if Toki just saves the flash, I mean, the Toki play with the flash onto the wall is very flashy and looks nice, but if he just flashed away from the set W, he's nowhere close to death there.
Yeah, Set landing a huge E over onto the onto both people, actually getting that stun because they're on either side of them. If maybe they're just not in that positioning, the fight goes a little bit better, but either way, it looks quite good.
Fruge, once again, it did actually get double scuttled this game, but will still be able to find a little bit of a punish onto Wally's lack of a full clear, finding his Raptors camp there. Wally looking... Speedy will not start the dragon here. Actually, maybe... Yeah, he does start the dragon here.
Does start it up. Speedy and Jam comes with a little bit of prio. That early flash being missed out due to the pressure from Monkey, as Fruge is actually here in the mid lane looking for I'll take mid. Isn't quite able to make anything happen. Actually loses the cannon for their trouble. I'll take mid. Forced to burn his flash though.
Fruge running down towards the dragon. Wally's getting rather low, and the dragon's still full.
Forced the flash early. Now Jamkins is here to support the Monkey. In addition,
they're gonna see it's between it.
As well as actually Monkey walking forward with the W on top of him. Fruge with no Q just yet. Actually steals the dragon. Now gets rooted up, and there's the 6 ultimate able to take him out. Now he's gonna be looking for the Kog'Maw as well. Kog'Maw with no summoners. Excuse me, does have the summoners now. Monkey's still on pursuit. They're going to be able to get 3 kills here. Toasty's able to come here and secure it as well. Wow, 3 for nothing. Plus they steal the dragon. What a disastrous scenario for the Kangaroo Corral.
Yeah, that's gonna be real hard to come back from. Lyle did go for an ult here in the top lane.
Oh, that is tragic though. Yeah. Oh, I'm just in shock. As Fouché is here as well, doesn't quite have the level 6, does take it off of that off of that wave. As well now while walking forward doing a ton of damage to Pokemon, that does not do quite enough to save you, but is able to force him into all get stunned. But Lyle W is able to get the shield and able to trade a little bit back. Toki might be able
Say
to kill him.
if Lyle stays, Toki could kill him here. Because
Yeah.
Lyle does not have ult and that double cooldown is long, but Lyle seems to be aware of
Does that
that and will
flash?
be backing out.
Exactly. Fouché now level 6 might be looking a little bit of a flashy play. Able to walk in and just yoink that dragon. Wallywop still has the smite, and Speedy and Jenkins trade their life for his sins. Wow.
Yeah, gotta say, I think that idea was very ambitious, and we saw exactly what happened due to the nature of that play. I mean, it was just so dangerous, especially with the potential Ziggs ult coming down, and just to be soloing it on the Xin Zhao.
I mean, we
Furge
look
with the
across all 3 games. Fouché has looked to have just insane early games.
yeah. I think
Really,
maybe Wally is even feeling a little pressured with that kind of a play to just make sure they don't lose that first dragon like they have the
actually
previous
down here in the
games.
bottom lane. Speedy and just level 5. You have a little bit of a lane for him. He's going to try and stall this wave from. He's taking a lot of damage. Meanwhile, they're going to try and push a little bit forward. Fouché
They're going to walk into
the
him.
corner, unknown to them. You know, he is here. He does have the kick. He does have flash available to him as well. He's going to kick the Lulu back. Actually get Speedy in the knockup as well. As we're looking at Lyle Walt, there's the W coming through from Monkey as well, and there's the begin ult. He's going to be able to secure at least 1 kill over on our Jam Goods. Yes, and might be looking for yet another onto Speedy.
Oof.
Is able to get the Dark Harvest proc, but isn't going to be able to secure the kill. Walking forward, maybe looking for a little bit of a dead flourish. No, but there is the GX ult!
Oh,
on the backside of that.
Bird is insane.
No, Bandito and Jam is getting punished here for walking into that Tri-Brush Bird Flash in Mastery 7. At least on the backside of that, they're going to be able to.
Yeah, I checked that once more on the replay, and Bird was on point. That ult was directly in the middle onto Speedy. Speedy got out of the middle trying to get out, but it was very well placed by Bird there. Well played from the top side of Kangaroo Corral to get at least something back for that top lane. Bot lane, excuse me.
Fouché does not have the kick, but he might still be looking stronger because he does have support from his mid laner. Although Maltipicate is also rotating, the blue buff is still leashed over onto the Lee Sin. They really want to hand it over to the Ziggs.
Yeah, I think this has got to be actually the largest lead we've seen in TCL. Maybe not ever, but in a long time. And 3K
doesn't quite land over onto Tokamon. They go for a little trade back as the Haymaker comes through and are able to get a little bit of decent damage through from the set.
Yeah, I mean, this is 3.5k at 9 minutes. That's a very, very early lead, especially against like a scaling comp that you have. Furge kind of looking for something here. There is a pink ward. Monkey actually roaming up as well to look for this.
Yeah, it's yet another bot to top roam from Monkey Toasty left on his lonesome down there as Fouché actually safeguards over the wall, gets stunned back into the wall as Lyle Walt pops the Haymaker, ults himself back out. Flashes actually doesn't quite land. Flashes laterally from the enemy team. Wallywop popping his own ult, but he isn't able to save his top laner. Now he's going to trade his own life as the Lee Sin kick comes out, and it's a 2 for nothing in the top lane.
Wow, what absolutely dominant early game from the Verdant Monkeys. 8-0 here.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
I think Lyle needed to flash over that wall, needed to perhaps walk up toward the thin part of that wall and flash over. Instead, he flashes laterally upwards.
Yeah, I agree. Down. He needed to flash in that. It is a difficult spot to flash, especially if you're not comfortable with it, but that was the way out there.
Yeah, exactly. And Fouché's going to steal more camps. He's 3-0-4. He's absolutely the playmaker on this team.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually up. Basically has 50% more gold than Wally.
Ooh, Altimate actually going for an all-in. Not quite. Fouché shows as we're seeing a TP into the bot lane from the the Verdant Monkeys as Speedy Bandito is left to die. Does have the Lulu ult, but it's not going to be enough to save him as Fouché is countering down here in the mid lane. Wow, just good looks all around from the Verdant Monkeys. There's no response from Kangaroo Corral.
Yeah, absolutely oppressive play here.
Himself.
Absolutely impressive play from the Verdant Monkeys, just using their numbers advantages in both the mid and the bot lane. Lyle top lane with the TP. Can't say I can blame him for not TPing there because your team is just so far behind. There's no way you start to win these fights all of a sudden.
Yeah, 11 minutes in and we have a perfect game from the Verdant Monkeys at the moment. 9-0. It's both dragons in favor of them, just losing a little bit of play gold up here in the top lane, but they are out rotating, out fighting.
Yeah, absolutely. A little bit of a fight going on here. Miles
Ooh,
W is already
land the
down.
haymaker over onto him. Tokimon lands the stun into the wall while Walt is going for this, but he's getting hit by literally everything from Tokimon Panda. Does he have
has no flash.
almost coming back up? He has no flash available to him. He's going to be looking very, very rough shape. Ults him back out, but Tokimon Panda just gets him a little bit of a left tap on the button, is able to secure a solo kill up here.
Yeah, that'll be a solo for Tokimon, continuing the trend that the Verdant Monkeys have right now of this completely dominant 0-kill game. We'll see if this... I mean, I don't think we've ever had a complete shutout in TCL before. It's very uncommon to see that in any League of Legends game, but they're kind of on par for it. 5k at 12 minutes is an absurdly high amount.
Exactly. Wally's topside as well, so he's not in position to help out with this moment. But actually, a TP from Lyle while walking forward does have some.
Toki has ult back up.
Wally's just going to go immediately. Actually, the W doesn't quite land, isn't able to do anything, but actually just ults it back out, and it is just totally okay. There's the Rift top.
Yeah, Toki says, "I will not be the first one to die on my team."
Yeah,
gets
doesn't
Wally
quite
right
land the timing on the W for the spin dash, but is going to be tough. Monkey might be looking for a little bit of a dive action here. Speedy Bandito underpowered by himself with Boucher on a little bit of a rotation on the jungler. Now is able to secure it. Monkey flashes back out, and they just one-tap this Kog'Maw. This poor Kog'Maw has not had a chance to... Actually, Lulu still has ult. He still has ult. Oh, no.
Oh, Lulu was just so separated from that fight by Monkey.
Oh, that is so tragic. Meanwhile, Rift Herald top lane, they're able to get at least one tower. No game for the Verdant Monkeys, but still...
That is really important for Kangaroo.
You gotta wonder, at what point do they start playing for Speedy? Speedy has had no help this entire game. Meanwhile, Tokimon Panda is going for a 1v2 over onto Wally, who's out of mana, but without wall. Not going to be able to help him because he is on the other side of the wall.
Yeah, that I would say that is really important for the Kangaroo Corral there in order to just get something back. I mean, they're losing plates across the board, but just to drop with as far behind as you are, to be able to drop the Herald and grab plates and a turret.
I mean, that is their only real win condition now. Mid's behind in CS. He hasn't gotten any kills. They need this Kog'Maw to get accelerated in some way and start dishing it out. He has the Kraken now. Looks like he's might potentially move toward Tankmaw. I mean, not seeing it yet, but
yeah. I mean, at this point, Verdant. I think at this point, Kangaroo Corral's win con is not even Kog'Maw, but just slowing this game down as much as humanly possible. You got to try and hang on to these turrets. You got to try and use numbers advantage where you can, because any real fight you're going to take, doesn't matter if you play it really well, you're just going to lose at this deficit.
I think you start with shutting down for JS. Tokimon actually going for a little bit of a cheeky rundown over onto Lao Walt, but Lao Walt taking more damage than he's given. At the same time, there's that grass proc, and he's trying to heal up. Lao Walt definitely on the worst end of that, even with the Stride Breaker full mythic versus Tokimon.
Yeah, it looks like they'll be actually looking to possibly pick up this next Herald here. Orpheus will just be looking for further invades into the enemy jungle.
Yeah, I think you start with shutting down Furjay, and then you shut down Toasty if you can get gold where you need it. And Furjay, meanwhile, just taking gold on the map in the form of a red buff, gets the smite. Lawalt is here, but Furjay is Lee Sin. So, probably not the easiest thing to catch. Actually, just queues over onto the Rift Herald. He's going to be looking for it himself. Getting a little bit of a pink ward take. Bot lanes have rotated. I'll take mid is in the bot lane. Doesn't have TP notably because he does have Ignite, and Fierce is actually going to start it up.
Yeah, Toasty is down in that bot lane as well. We'll be going down, I think, to that wave.
He's here to support, actually. Wow, that's a lot of karma damage. He does land the roof over as Ziggs is chucking bombs. The kick comes through, but Wally Warper is going to be going back into it as Lyle Walt is back here as well. Flashes with the Strider before, but doesn't quite land. And Poppy ult here is as well. Actually misses it onto the Lyle Walt set, but actually lands it over onto Lulu, and that's exactly the target he wanted. And I'll take mid misses his completely, and now it's a 4v4 as Bandito forced to heal out of here. It is definitely a rough situation for the Kangaroo Corral to try and contest anything. It is a Rift Herald for the
so much damage coming out from really every member, but especially from the Ziggs and the Karma. Really well placed ulti there from Tokimon, getting Lulu out of the fight to support, and also making sure he did not hit it onto the Lyle so that they can pick up that kill. Another turret going down in the favor of the Verdant Monkeys. Or actually, excuse me, that's their first tower. I thought they had gotten a bot tower, but they haven't yet.
Yeah, actually, the Kangaroo Crowd taking that first tower with that initial Rift, that first Rift Herald. Oof. how do they get back in at this point? They're losing every objective. They don't have any setup on any of the objectives. Lowell's so far behind. Going for Striker Flash. Oh god, what's the name of that ability? Oh, I just looked it up. The set E.
It is Facebreaker.
Facebreaker, thank you. Went for the Striker Flash Facebreaker, got flashed out of, got safeguarded away by Fruget, and then the fight was just a complete washout of that because Lywell didn't get anyone and was just in position, and that's kind of looking like every fight for them.
Yeah, I will say, as sad as it is, I think you need to just accept that you're not going to get a dragon this game, and Mountain Soul is not the end of the world. I mean, it's not like the Infernal Drake on Ziggs is going to be absolutely obliterating your team. I mean, it sucks, but you can't lose a fight there and lose a bunch of towers. So at this point, just farm as best you can and try and stop the fights as much as possible, delay as much as possible, and maybe take a fight if you are guaranteed certain that you have a numbers advantage.
Yeah, and in a parallel universe, this Kog'Maw will potentially get strong enough to be able to choose the insert soul that Pokemon has. So,
right,
like you said, it's definitely of the souls. It's probably best case scenario. You probably don't want Clouds for the extra move speed or the ult CD. I think Mountain Soul is probably the best case scenario for them.
Yeah.
Ooh, as Tokamon is actually going to be able to catch out Jamkim's on the side here. Jamkim's forced to ult himself. Now Tokamon doing so much damage. I'll take mid up to him the top lane. He's going to get flashed on though. Jamkim uses his own flash. Now Tokamon Panda going in there by himself. Ziggs ult as well. Fruget misses the Q over onto Jamkim's the fancy key. Lywell meanwhile on the bottom lane. Speedy Bandito is here to help us keep. There's the Shirelias. Excuse me, that might just be ultimate E launching Monkey as well, but just a trade of flashes, trade of ultimates, and
yeah, this is really good play from Verdant Monkeys. Like I was saying, like Kangaroo Corral has to hope that they can maybe get a numbers advantage, but Verdant Monkeys are just consistently staying together as 5, making sure that cannot happen, making their plays as a team. Really hoping to get this shutout, first ever TCL shutout.
Yeah, I wonder if they're looking to pop the Rift here. They do have it available to them. Pushing 6, getting pretty good siege on. Like you said, they're not the best from the Kangaroo Corral. Jim is also low, down his own ultimate.
Toki has the Herald into the TP bot, so he's not...
Oh, excuse me, you're right. I thought I was
going to use it here. Actually, it's TP from Set. This is a 4v5.
On the flank. Toki is bot, cannot help him, but Lyle is going to have it call it off. Oh, that feels so bad. Saw the angle was looking like Toki's going to be able to crash this wave.
Yeah, it feels bad.
Anything for that.
That's either a matter of miscommunication or just not realizing that you're... I mean, it's hard to say that you don't realize this because you gotta, but your whole jungle is just lit up with vision from the other team, so they see it coming from a mile away.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Trades loses his TP. Toki's able to pop the Rift to get himself. Basically a full wave in for 3, so...
Yeah, and Verdant Monkeys really likes the fact that there are no TPs on the board because it just enables them to stay as a unit as 5, and there will be no funky flank advantages or anything like that.
Right, exactly. Ziggs building toward a couple of different items, has both a stopwatch plus a large rod plus a codex item. So, and actually, Toasty himself also once again going for that clear sec.
Yeah, Mama Noel's in the chat. Mama Noel's in the chat giving. Yesterday was her birthday. She's giving her birthday buff specialty to her son's team this game.
Actually, Tokamon looking under tower doing not the health of Jamkus. Jamkus gets knocked out by that Tokamon Panda ultimate. Now Fruget looking for the flash kick when Helton is able to get out. Actually goes back into with E as well for 6 damage over top. Fruget's going to take down. He's actually going to get shut down. The Altec Tokamon Panda ease in over onto a minion. Now Wally Wolf, they are looking awfully deep. The perfect game is gone. Then Jin ult with his wings looking awfully pretty here as well. Now Stridebreaker forward with the oh my goodness, the Set E is getting chunked down. Now the Gale Force from Toasty is able to do a ton of damage and just execute Lywell while not having a good time this game. It looked a little bit deep. Fruget does lose his life, but they trade 1 for 1. They are able to get the tower just by flexing this huge, about 9k gold lead.
Yeah, almost 10k at 20 minutes in the game. It's just an absolutely massive lead. Hate to see Fruge give the first kill over to the other team.
Wow, Wally Warp walking forward does not have ultimate. He's just going to lose his life walking into the darkness of his own jungle.
Yeah, Wally just can't see into his own jungle and doesn't know that there's 2-3 members right there, right in front of his face.
Taking red. Oh,
gosh. He's able to just free take red away as there's no one up there.
Yeah, also, one of these days I will remember that Set's abilities called Facebreaker.
Right.
Oh my god. Wow. So they have certainly not slowed down this game. Not really their fault there. Frugier going awfully deep. Lyle flashing forward with the stride breaker is able to land the face breaker as well. Speedy Bandito is a little bit late on the backside of this. Pokemon Panda
Ooh,
forcing Lyle Wall back into the wall.
ooh, that
No
was a
flash
goodie.
support.
Yeah, that was really nice just to just kind of snag him just barely on that wall there and get away from the
And
set. Set was trying
reasonable up
so
here in the
hard
top lane.
to get in front to ult him backwards into the team just to hopefully get something back for his team, but is still not able to quite get that.
Exactly. Yeah, if he had been able to do that, maybe he'd been able to kill him with Speedy Bandito with both summoners up.
I gotta
That's
say,
a
this
reasonable
is
showing up in there in the top lane. They get the mountain stole for her.
this is perhaps a little bit preemptive, but we are gonna have to, if Rouge gets the interview, flame him for being defeated.
Oh my god, Lyle, you have no flash. You're taking so much damage. There's the haymaker coming through. Strybreaker out, but the Gale Force and Monkey is on a killing spree. Wally holding himself, but with the Lulu ult has already been wasted. Speedy Bandito is going to try and do some damage, but he is so poor. Releasing kick coming overall, and Wally potentially saving his life. They're going to try and block these in ultimate
so
shots.
much damage.
Wally Warp still gets rooted up as Jenkins is unable to block any further, forced to flash out himself. Just noticed he has ignited. He has gotten 0 value out of that summoner skill this game, as they're going to be turning on to the Baron.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage coming through. I mean,
God.
Lyle has no flash there, but is not even that close to the enemy team. He's just getting so much damage thrown onto him from so far away, and it just doesn't. He can't do anything about it.
Yeah, I'll take mid potentially for some shenanigans here. Just uses his Zig's ult onto the Monkeys in the zone. So here as well. Do we get a quick flick over onto Pokemon Panda, which is HP this man has, because he might just be unkillable. Once again, Pokemon Panda getting so much value on this Poppy, but the rest of the piece here is the Wally Warp and Jam around the side. Ultimate getting quite low though. This is Pokemon Panda Poppy damage as he actually blocks the Stride Breaker up, but there's the Face Breaker. Monkey is in kind of an awkward position to be knocked up with the Pokemon Panda. Is actually not unkillable, gets shut down. Ultimate looking awfully though, gets knocked into the Jin. W, excellent show from Toast.
Oh, that was
sticking that, cutting off the escape route as Frugier does land the Q. It's going to be looking for it. No, Lywell is actually zoning himself. It is 1-for-1 mid for top lane.
That was a fun little thing to watch the W, the Ziggs W knocking into the Jin W. Fruge is joined by Tokimon as in the Death Club.
Yeah, unfortunate. Ultimately, Fruge probably washed up in this video game, but that is okay. He's looking okay overall.
Fruge is just happy at this point that his teammate was kind enough to make sure he was not the only person on the team with a death.
Right, absolutely. We're seeing a little bit of a back and forth between Rudy and Mama Knowles. Mama Knowles with a little bit of shade over to Rudy. That's definitely understandable. As we're seeing the engage, Wally Walt quite low, but the least damage is quite enough as Wally Walt goes for the Stride Breaker, Face Breaker, as Liz laying a lot of true damage on the Monkey, but there's the shielding from the Mantra E as the TP comes through from, I believe, Pokemon Panda, and Baltic just gets absolutely one-shot. And there's the Ziggs ult over. Speaking of one-shot, Pokemon Panda going for the dive while Walt gets one-shot as well. Speedy Bandito has not had a chance to play this game in the series, and it is a triple kill for Frugier, 7-1 and 7 on the Lee Sin. They're going to be looking for the end with this Baron buff. Very clean game.
So much damage from Bird there, catching him in the middle of the ult. He did it easily 700 damage to that Lulu. What a game from the Verdant Monkeys. That was, I mean, that was
this
impressive.
Is one that never looked in doubt. Verdant Monkeys bouncing back from a little bit of a mental game in game one to take the second two in dominant fashion. They have just looked better and better every single game.
Yeah, absolutely. That was very, very strong performance from them. I mean, they they definitely were. I mean, hey, we talked about mental reset. They did not let themselves get tilted from that game one. They played each early game incredibly strongly. May have thrown it a little bit in the first game, but showed that they weren't going to do that every game, and even more than that, they weren't going to give anything up in this third game here.
These damage graphs. Oh no, every member of the Verdant Monkeys out damaging every member of the Kangaroo Corral.
That's crazy.
Oh no, and it's not even close. It's like a 4,000 damage margin.
Yeah, everything in there, every member of the Verdant Monkeys making more gold than every member of the Kangaroo Corral. Huge score lines. Monkey with the 3-0-15 on the Karma. I gotta say, I mean, I certainly didn't think it was a bad idea. It was interesting to see Monkey take away the karma, and boy did he show us that that was the right call there. I mean, that was
Yeah.
very
Yeah, like you
impressive.
said, even the support on Monkey having more money than the highest income on the other team, so
Yeah,
was never in doubt.
absolutely crazy stomp. But
Yeah. So
we'll have to talk to one of these players here.
yeah,
So
what do you got on that?
I mean, I gotta say Fruge. I mean,
Yeah.
his I think all of the members played pretty well. I think especially that third game, I mean, across the board, very well played from everyone. But I think Fruge is just consistent early game, consistent leads that he's getting, consistent ganks, consistent dragons, consistent buffs, consistent everything. Even when he got double scuttled that first game, he still goes into the enemy jungle and finds something. I gotta give it to Fruge.
I'm with you on that as well. Frisch pulled out three different champions and just like dominant all of them. Even game one, which game they lost,
Mhm.
had an incredible early game, had a huge lead, and just a few mistakes weren't able to capitalize it. So let's get that man really quick.
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome, Fruge. You're here to receive the interview.
Hey,
Um,
what's up, guys?
Absolutely dominant game three. Overall, fairly dominant series. Perhaps a little stumble in that first game, but across the board, very strong showing.
Yeah,
Um,
had to
yeah,
had to do an old school limit test in that first game.
I see. Gotcha. Um, yeah, let's. What are your thoughts on the series as a whole? What was your guys' kind of plan going out of that first loss into the next two? How are you gonna, make sure that didn't happen again?
Well, I think like the span of over like 3 minutes where like I griefed in topside jungle, and, like died to Camille. We lose Baron, and then we lose Soul Point. Like
Hmm.
bang, 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 three in a row, and it's like basically after that game, it's like there's no way we can make that many horrible mistakes in the next two games. It's like it's not possible. And like
Right, right,
I'll give Mid's team credit. Like they played really good compared to like what everyone was saying about them. But like
right.
I thought we executed well in those last two games and recovered from our stumble.
Yeah, let's say definitely giving them a little credit where credit's due. Obviously, the third game was very rough, but in the first two, they definitely gave you a strong fight. Um, just maybe a little for fun question: how do you feel when Tokimon decided to graciously join you in the only member who had died on the team?
Dude, honestly, I was really grateful. Me and him had a real heart to heart in game one. Before
Uh-huh.
game one, we bonded together mentally. It's what we do
Hmm.
before every game. You know, build the synergy. You knows what I mean?
Are you talking about smoking?
No, that's
Oh, okay.
inappropriate. This is a PG-13
Mm,
broadcast.
Fair enough.
right. I definitely didn't hear you say anything about that yesterday.
Yes,
Yeah.
of
So
course.
what were some of the adjustments that well like to kind of give us a context? Like you said, there's no way you said you would make these types of mistakes. Were there any was there any tilt kind of going from game one to game two? Was there any sort of thought that like, oh my god, I can't believe we just did that? Or
Oh yeah, we were all like super tilted going into game two. Like the lead we threw in game two, game one, we were like, oh my god, like none of us could believe it because it was like the series, like I said, like it was bang bang bang, and we just lost, and I was like,
Yeah.
we were all like,
yeah,
wow, like that sucked,
clearly you
and
guys were
like
able to reset though.
yeah, no, we were. Once we got into that second game, and then the second game started poorly too with that bot fight where
Yeah,
it was
the
the
counter
3v3 that just went south, and it was like, oh man, like everything keeps going wrong. Like something's gonna go our way, and then eventually, we got the dragon snowballing, we got everything rolling, and it was like, okay, like
for sure.
mental back on track, bot kingdom.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely some very strong dragon presence from you across all three games. I think you guys got, I mean, you got Soul in two games, and you got, I think, three the first game. A lot of dragons across the board. Um, what uh,
Yeah, go ahead.
what kind of what kind of like how do you plan and play around controlling dragons so well?
Generally speaking, I like to see like the tempo on the map and like see how like the jungler's clearing. Like basically once I figure out his early pathing and like coincided with mine and see how my lanes are doing, that's kind of how I determine like what kind of plays I look for. Like if my bot lane doesn't have prio, obviously I can't look for dragon, but
Hmm.
I can maybe look for a gank if I know Zinzal's cross map. It's all just like constantly analyzing like current map states, like what I can do
Sure.
based on where I know their jungler is and what our strengths on
Right.
the map are.
Yeah, such a
I am
cerebral role.
curious since you said knowing his pathing. Do you know what his path was each game?
He went some funky
Yeah.
paths, yeah.
Yeah, so I know I think he was doing a 3 camp for most of it.
Yeah, it was, yeah. 3 or
Yeah,
4
Yeah.
you're
Game 1
spot
was
on.
like
It
a
was
4 camp, but after that it was like 3, yeah.
yeah, it was basically 3 camp.
Yeah, with those
Yeah.
Rek'Sais and the Zinzaos, like they love to 3 camp and gank, and like
Mhm.
we did a good job avoiding those early deaths. We didn't always communicate the best in terms of like laners being missing, but I thought we all communicated as a whole the
Yeah.
junglers pathing very well that series.
Yeah, I mean,
Excellent.
I
So
think
a
you
couple of
guys
final
definitely had
questions.
some
Sorry.
solid control over. I was just say you had solid control over vision, especially since I'll take mid as a player who's known to roam, and you didn't suffer too heavily from him doing that.
Yeah, a couple of final questions, and then we'll go ahead and wrap this one up. So one question is: are there any of your teammates that you want to kind of shout out for kind of smurfing during this series? We want to give you a chance to
Oh,
kind of talk
are you
about some of
kidding?
the
Are
good
you
stuff that you
kidding
saw.
me? Did you guys see that Verd R bot
Oh, we
blind
did.
on the call?
We
call?
did.
That was
Dude,
insane.
we
Yeah,
were losing our minds when we saw that. Verd was smurfing so hard. It was so
Yeah.
awesome.
We
Like
saw that.
Yeah,
I
that was
felt
pretty
so
sweet.
bad. Like everything was not going his way in like game 1 and 2 because we were taking like horrible fights where like he couldn't get into, and then like that death when
Dude, it was
Zed got away
crazy.
with 1 HP.
We see Cog starting to channel recall, and
Uh
then all of a sudden,
The bomb just zoom in.
dead center,
Yeah,
the
like
coming in.
he literally had a Scryer's wave. Like he knew exactly where he was. It was so awesome.
That was insane. Yeah.
Yeah, but he played insane. Obviously, Toki just showed out. Solo killed Lyle. Classic. Never stops. Bot Kingdom. Yeah, everybody
For
played
sure.
insane, but Verd really hung in there mentally. I was really impressed with him.
Yeah,
Man,
looking forward.
Verd is someone just on Verd real quick, having played with him all last season. Verd is someone who always seems like he's the most tilted person on the planet, but then at the same time is just always holding his mental together.
And
It's
is
kind of
somehow
funny.
not the most tilted on the planet.
Yeah.
Next week, you guys have the Dark Horses, captained by Lynn. What do you guys have to be prepared for? What are your thoughts going into that matchup?
I mean, obviously, really strong mid jungle duo with Len and Teague. I know Teague likes to do kind of the stuff Wally does, but obviously at a much like higher level. He's much more proficient with his ganks, his pathing, and
Sure.
everything. I think we have a big lead in the bot lane as per usual. I think Toki will more than hold his own, and I think if me and Verd can at least do bare minimum, not what we did in game 1, should be a I don't know 2-0
All right, sweet.
as per usual.
Oh, okay.
Ooh,
Early
the
prediction. Yeah,
early
you did
call.
predict that for today. I'll hold you to it next week at least. So
Yeah, hold me to
awesome.
it
Thanks
next
so
week.
much, Rufi.
Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Awesome. So we'll go ahead and put a cap on that one. A 2-1 series in favor of the Verdant Monkeys. Blood. This was an awfully fun one to cast with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Had a lot of fun. Thank you to Spirit on production for hanging in there despite the consistent freezes. I don't think that's his fault. I think Spectator
No.
Client could just be a little screwy sometimes. So thank you for producing for us. Fun to cast with you. Fun series to cast for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And thank you to all of you for tuning in and watching along. Saw a lot of great discussion in the chat. And, can't wait to see you guys next week and actually tomorrow for a little bit of a matchup between the team front to back and team jungle control. So join us tomorrow for that. We'll see you, and hopefully it'll be another really, really fun series. Thanks so much, everybody. We'll see you later.